What's up, movie lovers? Welcome to episode number 31 of Ready Play Movies, your weekly source for everything that's new and exciting in the world of entertainment. Every Tuesday at 6 a.m. Pacific or 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we discuss the top news of the week, notable releases, what we're watching, big topics of the industry, and the movies we love. If you want to write anything to be read on the show, send us an email to readyplaymovies@gmail.com or hit us up at readyplaymovies on Twitter. No matter where you found us, please subscribe to the feed so you can get every new show directly to your device as soon as it posts. And if you like it, please leave us a nice review. This is August 10th, 2021, and I'm your host, Louis Menchaca, and joining me today, as always, is my co-host, Mr. Troy Bracey.
What's up? What's up? Good to be back. I'm here to talk movies with y'all, and we're going to have a good one.
Yes. All right. So first and foremost, I got to give a huge thank you to everyone that tuned in to our first episode on the Level 1 Gaming YouTube channel. Episode 30 was definitely a success by every metric that we have. So we had 40 views as of the time of recording. So I was very happy with that. It was really awesome. Thank you guys very much for letting me fill in the interim period. And I hope that anyone that watches this show will follow me back on my Ready Play Network YouTube channel and continue to watch us after our time on this channel has come to an end. But in the meantime, I just want to do one other quick correction. So last week we were doing the movie anniversaries, and I accidentally typed The Princess Bride in one of the I think it was like the 10 or 15 year mark. I forgot what year it was. And what ended up happening was I meant to say The Princess Diaries because I did say it right. It was the Anne Hathaway movie, but somehow
you got the name confused.
Yeah, I got the name confused. The Princess Bride is a much older movie from the 80s and a classic nonetheless. I don't think The Princess Diaries is that considered a classic. Troy. Let me ask.
I don't think so, but I think it's a memorable movie. Like I think if
people only remember it because it started Anne Hathaway's career.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if I could put it, but some people would put that as a classic though, because it's going to be a lot of ingrained in a lot of people's memory.
Oh yeah, people that grew up with that and all that stuff. Yeah. It's definitely I'd say so. But yeah, so there's that. We'll go ahead. Oh man, there's a lot of noise in the background. We'll go ahead and start the actual show proper and just hit you guys up with some impressions. Now, Troy. I'm going to just put this out here. We have a friend on Facebook, and he called me up too. He shall be unnamed. But he says, you guys have got into a little bit of a spat. You know, the Suicide Squad came out. Yeah, we all watched it. You're saying masterpiece, and he says, like, dog turds.
Well, here's the thing, and his name is Daniel. I'm putting him out there. Here's the thing, like, with Daniel, you got certain people where it's just no point of talking the specific topic of whatever y'all talking about because they don't understand it, right? So it's no point of it's certain things some people understand, certain people don't, but everybody have their opinion. But just to throw this out there, and this will make everyone agree with me, he said the first one was really good. The first Suicide Squad was really good. That says enough. And the second one he said was trash. Everybody, I'll let y'all make y'all own. I'll let y'all think what y'all want on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in the live chat. I think I'm gonna be in. Wait, sure. No, probably not. I'm probably not gonna be able to make the live chat whenever this premieres on YouTube, but I'll try to be. And just let us know what you think in there. But that being said, we're going to be talking about the box office for the Suicide Squad a little later in the actual news section. But for now, we're just going to actually talk about just impressions of what we thought of the actual movie. And I'm going to tell you this. I was holding back on you, Troy, but I'm going to split the difference. You know, you're saying like somewhere in the 9s, I would say, and he's saying somewhere in the 5s. I want to split the difference and say somewhere in the 7s because here's the thing. I think I bought into the hype too much. Like, I was thinking that this movie was gonna find me a girlfriend and make me a sandwich too. You know what I mean? Like I was thinking it would be the second coming of Christ. Yeah. I was thinking like the highest regards. I was thinking like something on the league of like the Dark Knight. You know what I mean? Like one of the best DC movies has ever made. That's ever been to ever DC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's not to say that the movie was bad. I just think that my expectations weren't tempered, and therefore I felt underwhelmed by comparison.
Okay.
But I will recognize that there was a lot of good things about it. There was a lot of like good character development, and there's a lot of good chemistry between the cast. You can tell that they had fun making it. It was definitely a joy to watch, and like just the constant the constant turning of the plot, and like there's so many like what do you call it? It's not as straightforward as one might think, especially with the fake out that happened. The way the marketing was going and stuff like that. So I will say that there was a lot of good in it. I just don't consider it something on the league of like Joker or The Dark Knight.
Okay.
Which I guess that's what I was when people throw around the words like the best of DC. That's the upper echelon kind of stuff.
Right.
And I don't think a James Gunn movie is that.
Okay.
But that's not to say that it's not to say it's a bad movie. I just think I just think it's a fun popcorn movie, and I'm probably gonna forget about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I completely disagree. I think it's the best movie since The Dark Knight, for at least on the DC's end of the spectrum. I mean, Joker. I think Joker is better, but I almost put that in it. But Joker is slightly better, but I think it's a straight up bona fide masterpiece. And like you said, I was in a round of 9s. No, I give it a 10.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because like what makes it so great to me was, first of all, it's not a single flaw that I have with the movie. Like, there's no single plot holes, no structure problems, no pacing issues, no editing problems, no bad writing. Everything is good. But I think what's so great about the movie to me is that a great movie, a great art movie, is hidden behind this fun, weird, like on the surface it just seems like your typical comedy, fun, weird, thing that you just kind of say, oh, that was funny, but it really had a lot of deeper themes and it's a lot of great underlining character work in there that's like really phenomenal. And the way James Gunn kind of blended his typical, just regular humor, fun movie mixed with this very art house feel to it in terms of like the writing. I thought it was just absolutely genius. And he did some very, when the reason why this movie is getting compared to The Dark Knight and some of these like all-time great DC films is because he did some revolutionary stuff with the structure. Like, it's non-linear. Like, we've never seen that in a comic book movie where we see something happen and then we go back to how we got to that point. He does that a couple times. Like, so he's being inventive with the structure. He's being inventive with the cinematography. Like, it's certain cinematography that I've never seen in a movie at all in this movie. Like, it's the way the camera be so close to their faces and then it gets back really quick. Like, I don't know how it does that. So he's doing some revolutionary stuff, and I think that's why people are comparing it to the best of the best, because they're seeing things they never seen before. And that's how I was. Like, it was so many, and that's another thing. Like, so many, like the last comic book movie I seen was Black Widow. Okay. And I like Black Widow. I like that movie or whatever, but one of the problems I had with that movie was I felt it was predictable. I felt like it was the stereotypical superhero movie.
It was paint by numbers.
It was paint by numbers, you know. And with this movie, as soon as I think that I know what's going to happen, it's always something that completely, never mind, I was completely wrong. And that's when I had the best time in the cinemas, when I'm getting surprised throughout the movie. And this whole movie, you couldn't predict anything in this movie. It doesn't matter if you tried.
There was definitely a lot of heart and soul. I'll give you that one.
Right, and it had a lot of heart and soul, which if you watch the trailer, you would think it's none of that in it. It's like, you would think it's just one of those fun, just throw it away. But you watch it and be like, man, I actually feel for King Shark. Like, so.
Yeah, that's true. And I will say this. There was one death that I did predict was going to happen. As soon as a character, let's just say, without going into spoilers, when a character had a hero moment, I knew they're dead.
Yeah, at that moment, I know what you're talking about. At that moment, I knew it. Like, but
before it happened, I knew it.
But it was only like right at that moment. I didn't like predict it two scenes. You know. But like as he was doing, I'm like, oh yeah, he's about to die right now. So, but
I can say that.
But
there was this one moment. Like, there's this like one subplot with Harley Quinn where I didn't predict it, but also it is character development for Harley Quinn over her course of her movies from like Birds of Prey, and it's sort of like it's sort of jives well considering what she's already been
Yeah,
through.
man, like it grew, like
Yeah.
you seen her growth through and the thing and that's another thing that was extremely like ballsy about that scene. Like you got this whole movie going on with this plot and all these characters, and then you just go away, leave all that behind, and just go to Harley Quinn and her little mini story. Like, and it's like that's stuff that you don't see in these movies. Like that's something that I remember watching it. Like, oh, so is this just like a little Harley Quinn movie right now?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like that's unusual, like stuff you can't predict. It's different, and like stuff like that is what makes it, stand out from other comic book movies.
Yeah, that is true. That's true. And then also a decision that Harley Quinn does during that subplot was very surprising because usually you think certain characters would make it to the end as like a big bad or whatever, but I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, for sure. I know what you're saying, and I agree.
Also, I just wanted to say, like, I'm surprised by like the number of like A-list stars, or like not A-list, but like definitely noteworthy stars like Jai Courtney that came back for the movie, and also like we're just. Yeah, I guess in a movie that's called The Suicide Squad.
Well, and that's one of the things that was so disappointed about the first atrocious movie was most of the Suicide Squad lived, and I'm like,
that's not true.
Like, yeah, like if you think about it, most of the Suicide Squad lived. It was two characters that died in the first Suicide Squad. It was the El Diablo guy, and it was the girl with the sword or whatever.
Katana. And then also the guy that was with the Adam Beach's character. That
they don't count. He did he died at the very he died at the very beginning. But I'm talking about like out of the characters. Hell, the villain didn't even die. Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Boomerang, Killer Croc. Who else was in that? Rick Flag. Most of the characters that you come to see die. And in this, it was like. You felt like anyone could go because you seeing different characters getting, done in. So it's like, I don't know. For me, I was like, this was better because it was like, man, this is what the Task Force X is. It's supposed to be a bunch of dudes that at any point can like die, you know? And I felt like they really did that. So
yeah, that's true.
And they didn't care if you were a big budget, a star or not. Yeah. They like, exactly. Anyone can go. Like,
as a matter of fact, I was actually surprised by a certain character's death that happened. It was like, I was like, oh my God, they went there. Like, I'm surprised that Warner Brothers let James Gunn kill off a character. It's interesting to see because like it's sort of like with a certain character like that I'm talking about, you would think that they would have plans for them in the future because they're they can be essentially like a glue.
But they died. Yeah, and it's just I respected that.
But they're just gonna bring him back to life.
But I mean, and the thing is, like, I think that's what now that you said that, I think that's what answers my own question about the first one. The first one was filled with A-list actors, so they were like they didn't want to kill nobody, So most of the Suicide Squad lived. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was a problem with that movie. Like, one of the multiple problems with that movie.
It's kind of interesting. Like, we almost never see like a scene where like they're all like hanging out together or whatever. Like, there's almost never this scene never happens.
Yeah, and I think it's so genius because like it's so genius because it's a huger squad, than you would expect, and that's why a lot of people go.
Yeah, that is true. So I just want to throw that out there and. I just go back to the marketing and like the trailers and like the explosions and stuff like that. The one big scene that I remember from Fandom was the part where they were filming the beach scene and they're always, that was gonna be. I thought that was gonna be like one of the finale moments or whatever, and they're showing it in the trailer, and then it's just they're just like.
I love when that happens so much because then you in your mind you're like, damn, I thought this was gonna be the finale. What else am I expecting? Like, what else can I expect in this movie? Because the moment that I thought was gonna be like this big moment just happens at the beginning. Like it's like, oh shit, I got a whole movie to go. Like it was, because I felt the same way when I seen that. Like I thought it was like, oh, that's the big moment because you see these explosions, people jumping in slow motion, all they running on the beach. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be a crazy. And then it's like literally the first. I'm like, oh shit. So yeah, man, I couldn't been more impressed about it. And I was surprised.
And then they made it seem like one of the characters who has a lame superpower. Like they make it seem like it's such a badass power in the trailer. TDK, he just has he yanks his arms off it's a hero. Like a hero
Well,
shot.
the thing is, what's so funny about that, that's one of the more funniest moments for me, because even in the movie they make it badass. Like when he first do it, he do. I'm like, oh shit, and then it gets playing the music as his hands going, and then he's all just playing with him and shit.
And they're all confused.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I hope James Gunn at some point. I know after this he's doing Guardians of the Galaxy, but if he's this elite level of a filmmaker, I want to see him do other stuff. Like I love his superhero, what he can do in the superhero genre, but I'm just curious to see what he can do. Period. Like if he can direct on this level, I didn't know. I knew he was a good director. I like Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I didn't like 2, and I like Slither, but I didn't know he could pull off something like this. This was elite level filmmaking. You know, this was the elite of elite level filmmaking.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I guess, I mean, I'm positive. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to say I'm like, you know, I was like, oh, this movie was trash or garbage. I just...
You're somewhere in the middle.
I'm just somewhere in the middle, yeah. It's definitely positive. I will recommend that movie for sure. It's an easy recommendation for me. I'm just not going to be like, you know, walking out of the theater and like giving it like an A+ cinema score. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Speaking of which, like the cinema score actually matched the 2016 Suicide Squad. It got a B+. They both got B+. So the audiences are not like as raving as the critics.
Yeah,
the critics are higher.
And
than audiences.
that makes a lot of sense, only because it's a lot of the artistic stuff I think could go over people's heads because of, like I told you, how like on the out surfaces is just like this crazy comedy. Like someone like a Daniel that really doesn't understand film, he's missing these little character themes, these little moments, like these. Like I'm gonna give a quick example, right? Like with King Shark. It's a scene where, you know, and King Shark's a big dumb shark through the whole movie, but it's a scene where they show like this couple and they're like kissing or whatever, and then it just shows King Shark's face like looking at him like as if he wants to have friends. Like he don't have anybody. He's a lonely shark. And, you know, that little scene right there will go over people's heads. Like that scene for me, I caught that and was like, man, that made me kind of feel for King Shark. It was a beautiful moment, yeah. It was a beautiful moment. But the average, you know, moviegoer that isn't a critic like me, they're not going to catch that. They're just going to, you know, just go over their head, whatever. And then when he does something dumb, they're just like, oh, look, the shark's dumb, right? So it's a lot of moments in there that I think critics pick up on. That's why it has like a 90-something on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah. And it's like an 80 on, you know, from the audience side. So that's expected.
Yeah. So that just throwing that out there. So that being said, I wanted to ask you before we move on to the other things that I watched this week. Did you watch anything else this week?
No.
No? All right. So
I watched Suicide Squad 3 times.
Did you at least watch it on HBO Max?
I watched them all in theaters.
That is a lot of money, dude.
I've seen them all in theaters. But see, if you're smart like me, you go early in the day and it's cheaper. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, yeah, I only watched it the one time on HBO Max. So it's probably the reason why I didn't like it as much.
That might. I think it really is because the most of the movie, I think, like at least from what I could see, like 60% of the movie was shot in IMAX. So I think like that IMAX experience makes it better too. Like,
I will probably say that when I was watching the third act, the big finale sequence, I was thinking to myself, man, this would have looked good on a big screen.
Oh yeah, and last little thing, I even felt bad for Starro at the end, man.
Yeah, I know.
They even made me feel for Starro.
Like I just wanted to watch the space.
That shit hurt. That shit messed me up, man. Like I felt for Starro at the end. I was like, I didn't ever think I'd feel for a big star, like fish looking thing.
All right. Also, well, I'm gonna just actually one last thing. I want to give a shout out to all of the cool letters that they put. Like, they put letters on the sand, the fire, the smoke.
That was just a part of James Gunn creativity. The toilet.
There was this part where like they had like these like poles and stuff like that, but they was filmed in a way where it makes a letter.
Yeah, make a letter.
That was cool.
But that just speaks to James Gunn creativity. Like this was that's when I say this was an art house film. This was like that kind of stuff you see, that kind of creativity you see from like upcoming filmmakers that's trying to get in the game and they make their first movie and it's like, oh, they doing unique stuff. That's what James Gunn was doing, but just with a blockbuster movie. It was incredible.
Yeah. I'll give you that one. You know, maybe I might bump it up to an 8. I don't know, but
it's one of the movies. Watch it. Yeah, give it a couple more watches, and then I think you might bump it up a little more.
I'm gonna just say without saying anything, I did not have an ideal viewing experience of the Suicide Squad. You know.
Dang, man. man. Like that's big.
Yeah.
You can't just leave that out. Like how you see movies really affect how you feel about the movie.
That is true. Yeah. So yeah, I had a movie night. Things didn't go smoothly, so I don't want to get into details. But anyways, so next thing I watched was this. Speaking of that same movie night, I did a double feature where the second movie of the matinee was Jungle Cruise, the Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt vehicle, star power, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So would it be weird to tell you that I enjoyed watching Jungle Cruise more than Suicide Squad?
Well, I haven't seen it, so I can't really, I mean, it sounds
We saw the trailer.
It
You were
sounds
like,
ridiculous.
yeah.
I'm not going to lie. It sounds preposterous. It really does. But I'm not the type of person, if I don't see it, I'm not going to judge the movie, and I haven't seen it. It could be, for all I know, it could be the greatest movie ever made. I doubt it, but it could,
It's definitely not one of the greatest movies ever made, but it definitely was a fun like a ride. Like, let's just,
So wait, you enjoyed Jungle Cruise more than the Suicide Squad? That right there might bump off of Daniel saying that the first Suicide Squad was better than the second one earlier today. That might bump that and be the more ridiculous thing I've heard today.
Well, again, remember, I'm talking about like my experience with it. Okay, like there was some.
Okay, yeah, but that plays a part in it.
We were
well,
watching
I mean, I assume that wasn't there a double feature, so ain't it the same experience?
No.
Well, things changed by the time.
There was so more people arrived for the second movie.
So what y'all see first?
We watched Suicide Squad first, and then more people arrived because they wanted to watch Jungle Cruise. And because certain people already watched the Suicide Squad without us or whatever, so we're like a small group and things were like whatever, and then more people arrived and then we were all together watching Jungle Cruise, having a good time with it. And Dwayne Johnson, man, he's just charisma.
Well, he's
charisma on command.
The Rock, he's one of those guys where even if he's in a bad movie,
he's good in it.
You're gonna at least enjoy him.
Yeah, so they had his character tell dad jokes like throughout the movie, like with puns. But he played it off with like a grin, like a smile, and like that thing where they smile.
That charisma.
That thing where they smile and we get the camera, and then like the teeth like. Bling.
Yeah.
Like it was just that, but like they basically played to his strengths, and there was a lot of that I just kind of like. It's a little cringe, but it's so good, And the movie was just like. Basically, like if you take like the Pirates of the Caribbean and what else? Damn, I can't think of a second movie. But basically, it's basically like a glorified remake of Pirates of the Caribbean. You got the guy that's cursed and it's got like like this weird like.
But see, the only thing is, the Pirates of the Caribbean, that first one was good as fuck.
I know, right?
It was good as fuck. Okay. Depp even got an Oscar nomination for a genre film. Like you don't see that a lot. Like,
so basically Disney ripped off their own movie and they did a worse job at it. So that's and it's kind of like that. And I will say that everything was cool. Everything's good. Like it was like. I guess it's like if I were to like rank it between Black Widow, I would say, they're both Disney films and they're both paint by numbers, but for some odd reason, Jungle Cruise is just enjoyable to watch more than Black Widow.
More than Black Widow. So you saying, let me get this straight. This is more enjoyable to watch than Black Widow and the Suicide Squad. So the two comic book movies we done got this year that's both good. You putting, oh my goodness.
No. Okay, let me. It's hard to.
This makes me want to watch this because I got to see how.
Okay. All right. Let me just put it this way. Probably, if I were to like just give it like number scores, I would probably put Suicide Squad at top. But the thing is, again, I'm going off of the experience of having watched it.
Okay. Yeah. And, right. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah. So let me just say, as far as like, if I'm gonna sit down and watch one of these movies a second time, Black Widow, Suicide Squad, Jungle Cruise. Probably Suicide Squad.
Man, I was holding my breath like, oh my God, don't tell me that. I gotta see it, but I gotta see it.
I almost thought about it. I thought about it.
But to be honest, I gotta see it. I can't even judge. It sounds ridiculous, but until I see it, because like one of my big pet peeves, I hate it when people don't see movies, but they're already judging it. It's gonna da-da-da. You haven't seen it yet. Even if I have a good idea that what it's gonna be, I gotta see it. So maybe when I see it, I could at least understand somewhat where you're coming from.
I watch it at home, so get on your couch, get a little thing of popcorn, some soda, and just enjoy it. That's literally like that's the best way I can explain it.
Yeah.
And the fact that I was doing that with like a big crowd of my family and stuff like that, that's kind of what made it better.
Yeah.
So I guess I enjoyed the experience of watching Jungle Cruise more than I did the Suicide Squad.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it is definitely paint by numbers, and I would say Suicide Squad wins in creativity, hand over fist.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why I love that movie. It's the opposite of paint by numbers.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go ahead and leave it at that. I don't really have much to say other than I smiled, I grinned. Yeah, that's the thing with Suicide Squad. I don't know, I just didn't have like that that cheese, but with Jungle Cruise I did. So take that as you will. And the last thing I watched this week was Blood Red Sky. It was a Netflix movie, and I told you about how it's a vampire. She's a mom. She's a vampire, and she's trying to get on a flight, but then terrorists take over the flight, and she goes vampire on them.
Yeah.
So basically, to give you guys like the little synopsis, she was bit by a vampire. She turned into a vampire, and she's been sort of controlling her urges. Raising a son. So she had like a little baby infant, and so somehow she didn't eat the son or whatever. So she just raised them and stuff like that, controlling herself, eating like rats or whatever and all that stuff. And then now there's a doctor in America, and so like they're in like Europe or whatever. So there's a doctor in America that says, I think I might have a cure for you. Come fly to me, and then we'll cure you. And then she's like taking like these drugs that are like sort of suppressing her urges and stuff like that. But then for some fucking reason, just the very same flight that she's on, terrorists come over and hijack it and trying to do another 9/11 or something like that. And then shit happens, and it's just an interesting, like, I would say it's interesting in the sense that you would think that the movie is gonna be very heroic and stuff like that because she's a vampire. But no, shit hits the fan. Like, so she transmits the vampire to one of the terrorists.
Well, hold on. You get into spoiler territory now. Hold on. But it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
And I like how, like, so basically, are you saying like she doesn't become like a hero?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I like that because that's different. That's not like predict like, oh, of course she's gonna be the good guy, like superhero type of thing.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, I think I was about to say some spoilers, so I'm gonna just leave it at that. It doesn't. Yeah. Okay. Without spoiling it, I'm going to say this. It does not go the way you think these movies normally go.
Okay.
And
well, let me ask you this. Did you like it?
Yeah.
Was it a good movie?
It was a good movie. Yeah, I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it. It was I watched it at night. I was in bed, and I watched it on my phone in bed, like, and watching Netflix like this, and it was just like, it was atmospheric, it was cozy, and I liked it. It was really good.
Okay.
I think it's like, when it comes to like horror stuff, like, you want to watch those things at night.
Yeah.
And I think horror movies are, I think for some reason, in my opinion, horror movies are better enjoyed alone because, you can't blame anyone for not shutting the fuck up. It's you blame yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you distract yourself, then that's on you.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Yeah. Blood Red Sky. It's on Netflix. It's a foreign language film. There's some English in it. It's on Netflix. It's easily like watchable. It was on the charts. I wanted to watch it just because of the trailer, and also surprisingly, like, I was surprised by Dominic Purcell. He was playing one of the terrorists, and I was expecting him to have more screen time, and because he's like a major star.
Yeah,
he's a star. So. That's we'll go ahead and kick it off to the actual the next segment here. We'll talk about the news.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
All right, so for the news, we have to talk about Suicide Squad because it was a flop at the box office. Oh my God! So, going into the box office here, it made like what? I think it was like $25 million opening weekend.
25.
It was still number one for the weekend, but it's very low. I believe the movie is budgeted at $180 million, and plus of course marketing and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's got to make a lot of money to break even, and this article is a variety article that's sort of giving their thoughts as to why it might not have made the money that you would think it would deserve. I would say, like, just having watched the movie, it deserved to have made more, in my opinion. So, despite the best laid plans of Hollywood studios and cinema operators, the movie theater business is still struggling to mount a recovery from COVID-19. For a while, the box office poised for a comeback with a string of pandemic-era record opening weekends, including A Quiet Place Part 2 at $48 million, F9 at $70 million, and Black Widow at $80 million in June and July. Despite a few well-timed theatrical hits, multiplexes aren't home free yet. The persistent uphill battle that faces the film industry was illuminated last weekend with the release of The Suicide Squad. The R-rated comic book adaptation has all the makings of a box office hit. Stellar reviews, charismatic supervillains, and the cinematic anomaly of Sylvester Stallone as a digitized shark. However, the Warner Brothers movie fell short of expectations, earning $26.5 million in its first 3 days of release of North America. The Suicide Squad generated another $35 million internationally, taking its overall tally to $72 million. Those figures, while not entirely unexpected considering the ongoing pandemic, are disappointing because the studio spent a massive $185 million to produce the film and at least $100 million on promotional efforts in the hopes of steering its DC property in a direction that is both critically and commercially viable. So what went wrong? For one, the Delta variant has caused the country's COVID-19 cases to surge, making audiences more hesitant to visit their local multiplex. In an interview with Variety last week, John Fithian, the head of NATO, acknowledged the concerning lack of consumer confidence. But as more people get vaccinated, he hopes moviegoers will return. That confidence level has very much improved with rising vaccination rates. I hope that the Delta dip, let's call it that, is short term. So at the same time, the film wasn't only available on the big screen. It was released simultaneously on HBO Max, which likely cannibalized ticket sales to an unknown degree. So yeah, let me see here. I'm gonna skip ahead on this article here, and Troy, I'm gonna I'm gonna go ahead and let you say your thoughts on the two reasons that were given so far. So far, this article says COVID and HBO Max. What are your thoughts on those two?
Listen, there's only one reason this movie flopped, and it's not COVID. Like COVID is gonna damage all box office to a certain extent from going forward, right?
Yes,
Even if a movie does good, it'll probably have done even better without COVID.
Like Black Widow,
right? But that's not gonna cause a movie to bomb. Like
right,
we've seen already that movies have done good. And this goes for the same thing with Disney. We talked about it last time with Disney and their things going to Disney Plus. With this is HBO Max. These studios are sabotaging themselves by putting it on their streaming services. They don't realize that they're sabotaging themselves because, listen, I can't even tell you how many. Okay, matter of fact, I'm gonna ask you this, Lewis.
What's up?
Have you went to go see one movie in theaters that also played on a streaming service?
No.
Okay. A lot of people, millions of people in the world is the same way. Like you got people that's gonna want to go see it regardless in theaters, and then you got a lot of people that now Godzilla did good, but that was the first big movie coming back in theaters, and I don't know how long. But every movie that's gonna go on HBO Max, so I'm predicting Dune, any other Warner Brother movies that coming out, any other Disney movies, they're all gonna bomb because not only can you just watch it at home, but now you could legally get an HD version of to pirate the movie because it's on the TV, so it's easier for people to get it. Like
screen record it and then
people could go right now, and I'm not saying people do this, but I'm saying people could go right now and type in the Suicide Squad on their computer and get a full HD version of the Suicide Squad right now and watch it, pirate it. So not only are you providing more piracy for your films, but also people could just watch it on HBO Max or watch it on Disney Plus. So all you idiots, big corporations that decided, hey, we're going to put all our stuff on the movie. Listen, all the movies that just went straight to theaters did good. Fast, whatever, 9, 10, or whatever it is, it did good. It did bad. I mean, it didn't do as good as, because like I said before, with the pandemic, it's not going to do the numbers that it would have did, but it did good. Also, A Quiet Place. It did good.
I like how I'm thinking about every of the movies I've actually watched in theaters, like The Quiet Place, F9.
They
weren't
wasn't-
on streaming service.
So you had to go see them. And guess what? Do you think A Quiet Place is going to do better than The Suicide Squad? Really? No. It's because it was exclusively in theaters, so you had to go see it. So listen, the movies going to streaming service, every single movie, and it's almost pointless to talk about it. Because from now on, every single movie that's going to go straight to a streaming service, we're going to talk about the numbers being disappointed. That's a fact. Because people aren't going to, like, and especially with the
Let me ask you this.
COVID.
Let's put that test to like, how much do you want to? Let's bet $5 on this, right? All right,
Okay.
here we go. So Black Widow made $80 million, while also debuting on Disney Plus Premier Access. Now, for as far as we know, Shang-Chi is going to be at theaters only.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think Shang-Chi outperforms Black Widow?
Yes, I think it does. I think it does. I definitely think
There's
it does.
no way a brand new franchise Marvel
Well, see, here's
is
the
going to
thing.
do $80 million on the opening weekend.
Well, here's the thing. Black Widow did 80 million, but they dropped all over the world. Not all over the world, but they dropped overseas and what's the name? Black Widow didn't do 80 million in the United States alone.
Yeah, it did.
In the United States alone? So
Yeah, I can pull it up right here.
okay, well, if it did 80 million in the United States alone, I don't know if I agree. I probably ain't gonna take that bet.
Let's take a look here. Black Widow, opening weekend, $80 million.
But I'm saying
That's with Disney Plus.
No, but I'm saying was that 80 million with
U.S. only.
US?
Yeah.
I'm saying, where does it say US?
This is the weekend charts for the domestic box office.
Oh, that's domestic
yeah.
only?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not international. No international.
Well, listen, that's solid numbers, but even Black Widow did terrible after that because
it dropped off. So okay,
but and here's the difference. But you also got to realize that the difference between Disney Plus and HBO Max, the slight difference is they charge you $30 to see it. HBO Max, boom, just go put it on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so
true.
you got certain people that would still rather go see it in theaters than pay the $30, even though they'll have it. But certain people just want to see a movie once. So you know what I'm saying? So if I want to see a movie once, I ain't gonna pay $30 to see it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just go to the theater. So it's slightly different.
Yeah,
It's slightly different, but we seen the drop just the next week. Like with this one, we seeing the bad right out the gate. But with Black Widow, it seemingly did good, and then the clip hit. Yeah, like jumping right into it. What's the name? So, but the reality is, the only thing I will say is the movies that we're going to see that come out exclusively in theaters, we're going to see better numbers for those movies than we're going to see for the movies that has to come out on HBO Max as well. You know what I mean? And Fast and Furious was a good example of that. Like it did close to what it would normally do, you know? And so yeah, I think that's why I bombed, you know? Cuz a movie like this, I don't think it would bomb. I really don't. Like I don't necessarily say it'll been a big hit and made 100-something million opening weekend, but it wouldn't have bombed. It like come on, good reviews, good star. Like that article said,
to put up Deadpool numbers. Basically.
Yeah, right, exactly. So but again, if I was Warner Brothers, you can't be mad at nobody but yourselves because y'all wanted everything on HBO Max. What you think gonna happen? You think you finna have a big hit and it's free? Like, come on now, bro. Like, it don't work like that. I don't get to sell something and give it away for free and then still think I'm gonna get some money. You know what I mean? Like, stop.
What's it called? It's gonna the people at Discovery are probably gonna like change things around for next year. Luckily, they said because they're merging and stuff and they bought them and stuff. But I will say that at least they can say that they were telling the truth because I called into question about the whole when they announced that they was gonna do the whole slate, the 2021 slate, and back to HBO Max. Yeah, I was thinking to myself, I was predicting. It's not gonna be just 2021. It's gonna continue onwards. Yeah. And then now with these things,
they gonna realize.
I believe they can say, "Oh, we're telling the truth. It was just a 2021 thing."
Yeah.
2022,
absolutely.
It's exclusive.
And the thing is, like, they're gonna lose so much money because this is like if you think about like Dune, that's another 100-something million budget. This movie, Suicide, 100-something million budget. That all these movies that are coming out, they spending so much money, and they're gonna lose money on all of them. Like this is like can put companies out of business type of money that they're losing. If you combine all these different movies that they have coming out, did they do Space Jam as well?
Yeah,
that's another one they
So,
lost a shit ton of money on.
we got Reminiscence coming up with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah,
later
that
in
one.
that.
I'm excited for that one.
Let's see.
Wait, go back up.
I don't know
What
this
is
one.
that?
Malignant. James Wan.
I don't know which one that is.
It's a horror movie starring movie being directed by James Wan. We got the mini Saints of Newark. We got Dune.
Ooh, Dune. They're gonna lose a lot
King
of
Richard,
money.
Will
King
Smith.
Richard.
Will
Yeah, that's
Smith.
gonna be another. Ooh,
Matrix
Matrix 4. They're gonna lose. That coming out there.
December
Yeah, that's
22nd.
another one they're gonna lose
Unless
a
they
lot of
delay
money.
it to
They might could delay it and then be like, oh, it's not in 21, so it's so it's going to exclusive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I don't know what Reminiscence is, but it's TBA for this year. So Those Who Wish Me Dead. Oh, that one already came out. That one's coming out this year.
Crime,
yeah.
Macho.
I think it's coming in October. So yeah, these are all the HBO.
They're gonna lose a shit ton of money. But pretty much all these movies that you're seeing that they're gonna lose money for because they're putting them on HBO Max, and so is Disney as well.
All right. The other reasons that I'm just gonna go back to the article and I just read this part here. HBO Max on Sunday reported that The Suicide Squad had the second most viewed opening weekend of any film that launched simultaneously on the platform. Since the company didn't provide any metrics to back up that statistic, it's unclear how many people actually watched the movie between Friday and Sunday. More importantly, it's not certain that The Suicide Squad inspired any new HBO Max subscribers. So basically, they're saying that The Suicide Squad is our second highest debut on HBO Max.
You can't believe none of these streaming service shit. Disney tried to pull the same bullshit. Listen, I wouldn't believe none of these streamers. If you can't bring up specific numbers, because of course they always gonna try to make the shit look better. You know what I mean? So I don't
Without lying.
So I don't want to believe nothing they saying. Like if you can't give me specific numbers and stuff like that, I don't care about what y'all saying.
Give me that YouTube views. They did 1.6 million.
Yeah, like
YouTube.
I need that. Yeah, exactly.
Views.
Exactly, something like that.
And if anything, that's only going to make it worse because they'll be like, "Damn, that's how much money in box office
it could have made." Exactly.
Says the Suicide Squad also notched an R rating, which limits younger audience members. So they're saying that's 3 reasons. They're saying like because it's R rated.
I mean, listen, R rateds always will kind of put a little dent in it, but. Come on, man.
Tell that to Joker.
Joker, billion. Deadpool, 800 million. I mean, we could just, like, come on now. That's, that, like...
Do you think... Wait, actually, you know what? Let's ask that. Do you think that Deadpool would have made $1 billion if it was PG-13?
I don't think so. I think it would have made close to it because it almost made $1 billion at what's the name? But I'm saying, but what I'm saying is, it's like just our rating might put a dent in it, but it ain't got bombing and a dent in something are 2 different things. Like what's the name? Being Deadpool could have hit $1 billion, but it did 700 million. It was still successful. That's still not a bomb. This is a bomb.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And it also says I talked about what I said earlier, the cinema scores. So it's got 96% Rotten Tomatoes by critics. B+ cinema score by audience members.
And also cinema score, that's always a terrible site because they just go around asking people
that are leaving the theater.
But like you got millions of theaters. What if like in the specific theaters y'all went to, they all gave it good reviews and so they're like, oh, we love it. And
so one of the things that they notice is that cinema scores tend to tell you the tale of the weekend. So like if you take the cinema score on Friday, you'll know that word of mouth, people will be telling their friends, oh, this is a good movie, and the Saturdays and Sunday numbers will be good. If it's a high Friday and it's like, people were excited to see it and it's a low cinema score, it'll dip over the weekend because people are telling us like, oh, just don't go see the movie, Yeah. So kind of like what Daniel tried to do to us and be like, man, that movie was trash, so it's like that.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is studios want these A-, A+ cinema scores because
it go tell
the audience,
go.
The word of mouth will be positive.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. That's another reason is that the general audience members aren't, like feeling it as much as the critics are. We'll go ahead and move on to the next story here, and the next one is about. This one's like kind of like I almost put it in extra news, but it's a slow news week, so I just pulled a couple of things here that I noticed that I just wanted to talk about. The biggest deal in TV history It's the South Park creators. They signed a massive $900 million deal with Viacom CBS. And it says here, the creators of South Park have signed a new deal with Viacom CBS that will pay them more than $900 million over the next 6 years. And it's one of the richest deals in TV history. Trey Parker and Matt Stone will use the money to make new episodes of South Park for Viacom's Comedy Central network and to create several spin-off movies for the company's Paramount Plus streaming service. So maybe we're going to get a South Park 2, a second movie finally. The party said Thursday their first project under the new deal will be a movie set in the world of South Park that will debut sometime before the end of the year. In the world of South Park, that means it's going to be like a spin-off movie. Yeah. Oh man. Whatever.
But that's just one. I'm sure they're still gonna have a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Then the deal with Parker and Stone is the clearest sign yet of Viacom CBS's growing commitment to Paramount Plus. The streaming service trails the likes of Netflix and Disney Plus, but has added millions of subscribers since it rebranded back in March. Yeah, CBS All Access was trash. Viacom CBS is looking to the addition of South Park movies to accelerate its growth. This series remains the most popular TV show on Comedy Central. Damn, that show is really old as hell, like 20 plus years, I want to say. Yeah. And it's kind of interesting that even like young people that are, that didn't grow up. Down, yeah, it got passed down and they came into it. And what's really interesting is like, I feel like South Park is literally propping up Comedy Central on its own back by itself.
Yeah, like it's holding it up because I don't even hear about Comedy Central.
It used to be big back in the 2000s.
Like, I didn't even know they were still in anything. Shit.
That's fucked up. All right. So Chris McCarthy, the president and chief executive officer of the MTV Entertainment Group, approached Parker and Stone about extending their deal with Comedy Central and getting some South Park programming that would be exclusive to Paramount Plus. The company's current strategy is to use its biggest hits on cable to lure customers to its streaming service. Earlier this year, McCarthy signed a new deal with Taylor Sheridan, the creator of the hit cable show Yellowstone, to create a spin-off show that will stream on Paramount Plus. Now, I'm going to say this. Yellowstone, I see it on the Amazon charts when I'm doing the compiling for the charts. I remove it because it's a show and not a movie, but I know that show is popular. At the end of June, Viacom CBS had more than 42 million subscribers across its streaming services, which includes Paramount Plus, BET Plus, and Showtime. Okay, that's kind of like massaging the numbers because that's 3 services kind of like crunched into like. It's hard to tell like how many of that is actually Paramount Plus. As giant media and technology companies compete in the streaming wars, the value of franchises like South Park has soared to record heights. Few, if any, production teams have managed to capitalize on the changes in the home entertainment landscape better than Parker and Stone, who own 50% of all online rights to the show. Damn, man, that's getting the bag right there. That's some smart business savvy thing. They retained the money and the financial rights, and then they can't get fucked over. Yeah. So happy for them on that one. Their new deal, which runs through 2027, covers 6 more cycles of South Park and includes 14 made-for-streaming movies. Damn, 14. Okay, it's plausible because I don't know if you know this, but they make South Park in a week. Like every episode, they do it in 7 days.
The animation is so simple, and that all they got to do is really do voiceover. That's what they really mostly got to worry about.
Yeah, writing, voiceover, So it's like it takes 7 days for them to produce the episode. So like I think it airs on Wednesdays. I want to say I think it's Wednesdays. So like Wednesday it airs, and they normally like on certain shows you can say next week on South Park, and they'll show you a clip. Yeah. They can't do that because they don't have it. It's not been made, and so they literally like. Sit down and they write an episode. They record it. They do all the stuff all in the 7 days for them just in time for it to air the next Wednesday. Yeah. And they be cutting it to like the deadline. Cutting it down to the wire.
Like that shit risky.
Yeah.
Like fuck.
Yeah. Like it's like oh man, we turned it in like 2 hours.
But I think I honestly think they probably have it all written already, and they just got to do the animation and then get the voiceovers.
No, they storyboard like that Wednesday, like Thursday morning. They go into the meeting and they're like, all right, what are we gonna do? Because what they do is like they're very topical. Like South Park, I don't know if you've been watching it lately, but they always cover what's on the news like right now. Yeah. Because they're always so timely with their references and what's going on with like COVID and all that other stuff. They cover the political stuff like right now. And so that's one of the things that makes them relevant. And I'm thinking to myself, if they can take that approach and make it into a movie, 19 or 14 streaming movies.
I'm gonna have to check them out because I wonder how are they operating right now with this whole like cancel culture era we living in.
Yeah.
Because like when they came, they didn't give a fuck about that. They'll
Yeah.
say the most controversial, and that's what
And they
kind of
still do.
that's what made them popular. But I haven't watched them in like 15 years, so I don't know like if they still like that
Yeah.
or if not.
They
you
are.
know. But I noticed like a lot of people that's already like if you've already been known for controversy before cancel culture, I think you're
still-
cancel proof. Like
Yeah.
you're cancel proof. Like Chris Rock can get up and say any goddamn thing, racism, no matter what. He ain't gonna get canceled because he's known for that. So you can't cancel someone that's been saying shit for years. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Like, it's one of the things that's like, oh, you're gonna win. It's like kind of like ridiculous. Like, you want to cancel me now for what about all the shit I've been saying for like the last 10, 20 years?
Right,
yeah,
right.
So.
Some certain people, like Quentin Tarantino, he's another one. Like,
Yeah.
there's certain people, unless you do something like Harvey Weinstein, where
Yeah.
you like raping women and stuff like that. But if you just for shit you say and things like that, I don't think certain people is cancel proof. Like,
Yeah. So Troy, what are your thoughts on a billion? It's basically $1 billion deal.
I mean that is it's congratulations on them, man. It's like that's always good news to hear when the creators like the original, because you'll be surprised at how many people create something, invent
and then
something,
like the company
but,
takes it from them.
yeah, and well, not really take it. They'll sell their rights for both cheap, and then they'll make trillions off of it, and they're broke as hell. You know what I mean? So they were smart enough to do good business, and now they're very wealthy men because of it, and they got creative control and all this other shit, and it's on a good platform. And
then if they want you, and if the company wants you to do more, they'll pay you for doing more.
Yeah, right.
Exactly,
So it's like they just got the best deal right now in Hollywood. So
Yeah,
it's great.
it's like when I think of like the biggest deal in TV history, I'm thinking like, do you remember when Dave Chappelle was on Comedy Central and he did he had a $50 million deal for 2 years.
2 years.
And I'm like, damn. And
that
then
was
this
crazy.
is
But this blew that out the water. Yeah, that
$900 million for 6.
Yeah, they almost did $1 billion. You know what I mean? So that's
Let me
crazy.
see. Let's see. How much is that per year? Like what? 2, 4, 6, 8? I don't even know. That's like 150 million per year.
No, it's more than that.
Let's see. Let's
That's
get
6 years, right?
It's 6 years. So you got 900.
I think it's like 2 something.
Divided by six. That is 150 million a year.
Oh, 150. Oh, okay.
Damn, that's 75 million a pop for each of them.
Sheesh.
Shit. All right. We'll go ahead and move on to the next topic here. It says, okay, this is the last story on top news. AMC Theaters, and this is you're probably not going to like this news. AMC Theaters has agreed to a shorter release window, a shortened theatrical window with Warner Brothers. So it used to be, and it still kind of sort of is, it's 90-day exclusives. AMC previously signed a deal with like Universal, where it's like, I think it was like 15 days where Universal, I forgot another one was like happened recently where it's like now it's 45 days with this company, and now it's 45 days with Warner Brothers as well. So they're joining the next part. Also in a separate, this is also in the same headline or in the same article. I don't know why. It's a completely unrelated story, but it says the company's quarterly earnings call happened, and AMC announced that it's going to accept Bitcoin payments for tickets and concessions, which is really weird.
I mean that you're gonna start seeing that all over the world as
Currency?
Cryptocurrency is gonna start making its way into more markets and stuff like that. So it's just for some reason theaters are doing it first. I don't know what the fuck.
I remember like when Tesla's like, oh, we're accepting Bitcoin now.
Yeah.
AMC Theaters has reached a formal agreement with Warner Brothers to show the studio's 2022 slate on the big screen for an exclusive 45-day window. It was Paramount. That's who I was thinking about. Okay, right now Paramount's window is 45 days. Now Warner Brothers joins Paramount in that. The news is not surprising because Warner Brothers has had a similar plan in place with Cineworld, the owners of Regal Cinema, since April. I forgot about that story. However, the announcement is comforting to film operators who feared that the pandemic would spell the end of the theatrical window, the period of time in which movies are only available in theaters. Many of the biggest movies released since the onset of COVID-19 premiered simultaneously on streaming services such as HBO Max and Disney+, which is a deviation from pre-plague times. In the company's quarterly earnings call, AMC announced that by the end of the year, it will accept Bitcoins, and the company is also building the technology to accept Apple Pay and Google Pay by 2022. Why the hell did they not already do that?
I know, that's crazy.
Like, Apple Pay is like been around like for a long time. I mean, that's also like, one of the good things about Apple Pay and Google Pay is supposed to be contactless. You just scan Bluetooth your payment to the machine. Okay. The move to embrace cryptocurrency is a nod to the new base of younger retail investors that AMC has attracted in recent months and has been embraced as a meme stock. The company's shares have the company's shares have surged, propelled by populist sentiment rather than financial data. As a nod to this new reality, AMC shook up its earnings calls, choosing to answer questions from its broader investors base and only sparing a few minutes for the analysts who closely follow the company. So I'm just going to go ahead and stop the article there. It's really nothing to really expand about it. So let's see here. Let me just read this part here because it's caught my eye. Aaron said, "It's no secret that AMC was not happy when Warner Brothers announced that all its 2021 movies, a slate that ranges from Space Jam, Dune, to Matrix 4, would premiere simultaneously on HBO Max, the company's budding streaming service. Executives at Warner Brothers maintained that it was a one-year concession for the pandemic and that the studio would return to keeping its movies exclusively in theaters in 2021. It's especially gratifying that 2022, yes. It's especially gratifying that Warner Brothers is yet again embracing a theatrical window," Aaron said. "For us at AMC, it's especially pleasing to be working so harmoniously with Warner Brothers once again." That is such marketing speak. People backstab each other all the damn time when it comes to these kind of things, but whatever. So let me ask you this, Troy. I know you like the theatrical experience and stuff like that, but we're talking about literally cutting the theatrical exclusivity window in half. You know what I mean? So movies that,
Is that in half?
Yeah, 90
45?
days.
45? Oh, yeah.
45 times 2 is 90.
Yeah.
It just, when you think about like A Quiet Place Part 2, 45 days after it released, it went to Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
And then we saw it became irrelevant at the box office. Dropped off. Yeah. Now, you can say, is it because it was on Paramount Plus, or is it just was it going to be fading out anyways? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. In terms of my preference, I prefer it to the traditional way of always been. But I don't really, from a business standpoint, I could kind of understand what they're doing because a lot of movies, they make a big percentage of their money in like the first 2 or 3 weeks. Opening weekend is really how you find out if a movie's going to be successful or not. You literally know the weekend after it opens, oh, this is a huge hit, or oh, this is a huge bomb. Yeah. And then the rest of it is just the legs to keep it going, or it just keeps falling off.
Yeah, or like at most you'll find out on the second weekend if it's a hit at the latest.
Right. So I feel like, I think what they're doing is they're kind of trying to clip the edges of where, that time where films just be in theaters and no one really seeing it no more. Like, you've worked at the theaters, like those last 2 or 3 weeks where films, like, if you go in there, no one's in there no more, because even if it was a hit, but it's like, it's been in theaters 2 months already and nobody ain't even really, going to it no more. So, I think they're clipping that off.
Yeah, they're gonna cut a lot of movies. I would say it probably works with the laws of averages and makes it so 45 days, that's about as much relevance you're gonna have in the box office anyways.
Yeah.
But there are outliers, things I can think of The Hangover. I think of Taken, the first Liam Neeson movie.
Yeah.
Taken on weekend number 10 was still selling out.
Yeah, Gone Girl.
Yeah, Gone Girl. Yeah. A lot of movies have legs. Into the Spider-Verse, I believe, was also
because Into the Spider-Verse actually didn't do good. Didn't do that great.
But it played long.
It played long.
The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, The Greatest Showman.
Those those are outliers. They're not common.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I think they're going by the majority, and they're trying to, because you always have exceptions for
the rule.
The rule, and I think they're just going by the vast majority of how it usually plays out, and that's why it kind of goes to my thing. A lot of people always talked about for the number of years now that how theaters might die. I've been saying, no, it's not the theaters, it's the DVDs, straight to Blu-ray DVDs, hardcore media. Physical media, that's what's leaving, because what they're trying to do now is help their streaming services from like, look, remember this hit that was in theaters? Now it's on the streaming service. You know what I'm saying? And make people want to like, oh shit, they already got, I don't know, Spider-Man on Disney Plus, blah, blah, blah. Or, you know what I mean? And it's like, I think that's the strategy. And I think that completely eliminates like hard media. Like we're not going to, and I say in like 2 years, we're not even going to be able to get a Blu-ray no more. Like maybe, you know, maybe if we go to like some pawn shop or some shit, like some store that still sells them or something. But like as far as like going to Target, Walmart, like stuff like that, in 2 years, I don't even think we're going to be able to go get a Blu-ray or a DVD. I think all that's going to streaming services. And I think that's what's going away, not theaters. I think the theatrical experience is still useful.
It's like going to a concert. It's an experience you pay for.
Yeah,
it's
like an experience. And I think it's going to, and it helps, and actually helps from a marketing standpoint, help the streaming service. Because if
it gives it that legitimacy.
Yeah,
it's
right.
It's kind of like, it's so interesting to think about like when a movie comes straight to theaters and then, or if that same movie goes straight to streaming or whatever.
Yeah. It feels, something about it feels like straight to home or something.
Yeah, like it's a lesser quality. People judge it.
Judge it differently, yeah. And that's why I think it's so stupid how Warner Brothers put all their stuff on HBO Max like day and day, because really it could have been smart. You could have, whether it bombed or not, you could have had it exclusively in theaters and then like, look y'all, now it's already on HBO Max and however long, 45 days. Look, it's already come to HBO Max. I think it would have helped out regardless. So it's so stupid to me to have them simultaneously.
Yeah, so it's almost as if like theaters, like having your movie play in theaters is like a marketing campaign for your home rental.
Then what's so genius about it is doing two things: it's making you money in the box office while it's there, and then it's also marketing your streaming service for when it comes to the streaming service. You know what I mean? So it works in both hands. So I can understand this business move. Me, I don't have a big problem with it because at the end of the day, I can still. I seen Suicide Squad 3 times in 1 weekend. So if it's a movie that I want to see, 45 days is more than enough time for me to see it on the big screen. But I prefer the 3 months if I had to choose.
All right, we'll go ahead and move on to the extra news here, and we got, I believe it's 12 items on the list. I don't remember off the top of my head. I only see the first 4. Number 1, Godzilla vs. Kong writer wants a MonsterVerse movie with no humans. That is never gonna happen.
No, that's just stupid. I ain't gonna lie.
It's gonna be expensive.
It's gonna be expensive, and it's just gonna be. No, I hate that idea. I hate that idea.
No, but you know what? Let me retell you that sentence, and let me just say, does this sound more appealing? Transformers writer wants a Transformers movie with no humans.
Yeah, that's even worse.
What?
Yeah, that's even worse. That's even worse.
Nah, hell no.
Listen, humanity is what film is all about. Like, you take away what, like, the character development is literally what makes a movie.
You can give all the character development to Bumblebee and Optimus Prime.
No, fuck no. Like, I want to see heart. I want to see, like, you.
Come
like,
on.
I react to
I have more feelings for Optimus Prime than I do for Shia LaBeouf in Transformers.
Yeah, but that's because they did a bad job. Like, they did a bad job. You do a bad job, of course a robot gonna feel better. But what I'm saying is like we appreciate like a human soul. Like when a human is breaking down crying, we feel that.
Man,
like
we have Godzilla. Kong has a soul, man. Have you seen those eyes?
Yeah, Kong, dude. Listen, but I think it's the combination of seeing a monkey react to a human or an animal or a robot react to a human is what gives the emotion, right? Because it's that chemistry between the human and the thing. But if you just got 2 robots or 2 monsters loving each other, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, nah, man, it takes away what cinema is about. This is why Martin Scorsese says like stuff ain't cinema these days, because people are like doing this kind of shit. Like, nah, bro.
Oh my god, you know what? I'm gonna try to figure out a movie that has like 2 inanimate objects that are in love, or that makes you feel with soul or whatever. You know what I mean? But whatever. Now, number 2, Chronicle 2 is in the works at Fox and will be a female-led project. Number 3, the 3rd Dwayne Johnson Jumanji movie is still in the works. Number 4, Bam Margera sues Paramount, Johnny Knoxville, and Spike Jonze over Jackass Forever firing. Number 5, James Gunn has revealed in an interview that the Suicide Squad were originally going to fight a mind-controlled Superman.
Ooh.
How did you not know that?
Damn.
How did you not know that? Number 6, James Gunn is returning for more DC projects, and I can tell you right now, next year, early next year in HBO Max, there's gonna be the John Cena, what's his name? Peacemaker, HBO Max series, and I believe it was 8 episodes. I want to say that was greenlit, and out of those 8 episodes, James Gunn is directing 5 of them. He has already directed 5 of them. Number 7, a Hunger Games prequel movie is gonna shoot in early 2022.
Oh, I'm not excited for that.
Number 8, Amazon's Lord of the Rings wraps production with a 2022 release window. So season 1 is done filming. Number 9, this is a rumor. Miss Marvel may be delayed to 2022.
That was coming out this year?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely, I think that's true, because there ain't no hype behind that at all.
It was supposed to come out like around the time Hawkeye, like it was Hawkeye, and I was like, what if Hawkeye and Miss Marvel were the last 3?
Yeah, I think I agree with that, because we're getting too close to the end of the year now, and like we've seen a bunch of shit from What If and not Hawkeye yet, but
we know
Shang-Chi,
it's coming November. Yeah,
and we but I haven't heard nothing from Miss Marvel at all. So
we know we covered it in a previous podcast episode where we covered that Ms. Marvel was finished filming.
Yeah. But I'm saying just in terms of hype for a movie, like to get ready to release a big movie.
There's no trailers.
There's nothing to get people like, oh shit, it's coming.
Number 10, Cobra Kai star Zolo Maridueña to star in DC's Blue Beetle, which I believe is an HBO Max series or movie. Number 11, Elliot Page is to be honored Elliot Page is to be honored by LGBTQ film festival Outfest.
They got a film festival?
I guess so.
Dedicated just to them, or what the fuck?
Yeah, Outfest. I mean, you're out. Yeah, it makes sense. They just sort of explains itself by the title. But Elliot Page, she recently, like in last year, I want to say, became a transition from Ellen Page to Elliot Page.
Yeah.
Number 12, Netflix is requiring all its employees and visitors to get vaccinated. I did not fully write down that sentence there. But last week we covered on Extra News that Disney is requiring all its employees to get vaccinated. Now Netflix is joining that group. Number 13, Walt Disney. It was 14 items total. Okay. Number 13, Walt Disney Animation opens a new Vancouver studio for a long-form series productions. So that's cool. So they're basically making a studio in Canada strictly for Disney Plus shows. So, and number 14 is the box office report. I don't really have anything to say about that. It's just the same thing. It's the weekend box office roundup. It's Suicide Squad open at 26 million. Jungle Cruise on its second weekend dropped 54% and made $15 million.
But look at that. Look at this box office, the top 5. This tells you something, right? So Suicide Squad didn't do good in the box office. Jungle Cruise didn't do good in the box office. Space Jam: New Legacy didn't do good in the box office. Old, which exclusive to theaters and a very low budget, that's only the one movie that's doing good in the box office. Black Widow also didn't do really good in the box office.
174 million is not good?
No, I mean it didn't do good. But but it got to make money. It don't matter what it makes. Like it got to make back money. The budget plus the marketing, they got to make like 500 million just for them to feel like it did something. So yes, 174 million. It looks all right, but no, that's not what they. Trust me, 174 million. They're crying right now with that number. So yeah, no, Black Widow didn't do good. So if you look at that top 5, all of those except for one also went to a streaming service, and all of them were disappointing box office numbers.
Look at this. Snake Eyes was exclusive to theaters.
Yeah,
and
but that movie was going to
its third weekend.
Yeah, but listen, you got some movies that were going to bomb no matter what it came out. That would have always, that could have came out in 2018, it would have bombed. Like, that has nothing to do with pandemic, nothing to do with none of that. It just, no one gave 2 shits about that. So that's just a bomber, you know what I mean?
Okay, all right. I'm just going to throw that out. I was going to throw those numbers at you. Look like Snake Eyes, exclusive.
That shit
weekend number 3. And listen, it's in the bottom half.
We still got the reality of movies sucking and bombing now. We can't just exclude like that was a thing. Some movies gonna bomb regardless, and that's one of them.
All right, cool. So we have 13 items to talk about. What you want to talk about?
Say, man, damn. As much as I loved, and I mean I love the Suicide Squad. Like I already told you, I think it's a masterpiece. I gave it a 10 out of 10. It's one of the best comic book movies I've seen in recent years. But if they would have fought Superman, Man, think how fucking dope that would have been. And then what's crazy is I think they got a game coming out called Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League.
Yeah.
And in that trailer, Superman showed up. So it's crazy that, like, I wonder if one of them stole the idea from it. Either the game kind of stole that idea. I'm assuming that the idea came out first because the game developers take longer than movies.
Right.
So I'm assuming it's just a coincidence. But man, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, listen, I don't know if it would have worked as well because Superman is so damn powerful. How
And
the
the
hell
Suicide Squad are very human.
are human league type of people? I don't know how it worked, but again, that's what makes for better writing. You got to figure it out. I mean, hell, they could.
Well, they said in you see this in the trailer, where it was like Idris Elba's character had his kryptonite bullet. You know?
Yeah, he hit him with a kryptonite bullet. So exactly. So like maybe they do something where he get hit with a kryptonite bullet and he fighting with a bullet in him, and he like fuck, like Superman literally got a bullet in him with a kryptonite, and then the Suicide
still throwing
Squad.
hands.
Yeah, with the Suicide Squad. So it's like things like that. Like you come up with it. So yes, in theory, it's like come on, it wouldn't work, but I mean shit, they doing it in the video game, and then if I'm not mistaken, in the video game they got the characters from in this shit. Like I think it's Deadshot instead of Peacemaker, but it's like Deadshot, Harley Quinn, King Shark, and Boomerang was the ones they showed in the trailer, and it's Superman. So it was like, so obviously they're gonna figure out some way to make it work in the game. So, but that would have just been cool, man. I would have liked to see that, and if anything, I'd like to see maybe a sequel. I don't know if we're gonna get a sequel now because of these numbers, but if they do a sequel, I think that'd be something I'd like to see. Superman in that bitch.
In an interview with Film Starts, which is a German entertainment news outlet, Gunn revealed an idea that he had for the Suicide Squad, and the quote reads, "When I started writing the Suicide Squad, one idea was that they would fight Superman. The Suicide Squad has to catch Superman for some reason. That was all. Just a vague idea. It had gotten out of hand. It's gotten out of hand or is being controlled by someone. And then this group of lousy supervillains has to face the most powerful hero in the world." So
Yeah, that sounds.
I'm guessing there was never a script. It was just an idea.
Yeah, like he probably when you go through the script writing process, you probably come up with multiple ideas and you pick the best one. But I think that would have been cool. And also, I got to talk about listen, I'm a fan of Blue Beetle as a DC character. I am a big fan of Blue Beetle, but I don't know if I'm a big fan of I don't know if I'm a big fan of this idea of movies coming straight going like these exclusive HBO Max movies. Like I don't know, like they're doing it with Batgirl. Some stuff that I already talked about that I don't like about that. And now they're doing it with Blue Beetle as well. So I don't know, like that's something I'm gonna have to see if I'm gonna like that idea of movies going straight to HBO Max, because so far I don't really like that idea. And but we'll see. And I don't know if I'm on board with this yet either, but I'm excited about a Blue Beetle possible movie, but I don't know, man.
It says he's. Let's see here. Mario Dueña confirmed that he's also found out about his new role. He just got the news today, and which is less than 24 hours ago. The Cobra Kai star replied. Let's see here. The only thing that's on my mind right now is just the fact that he's Latino. I have so much pride in getting to be a part of this project with Angel, someone like him, he said. I think it's so important, and I don't want to stand on the soapbox for too long, but representation is so important.
Yeah. So I mean that's cool, but I don't know. Hopefully it's good. That's all I can say. But something about it feels bootleg or straight. Like something about the idea.
Give him the theatrical
yeah,
treatment.
like that's like, and we just talked about that. Something about these movies going exclusively to HBO Max make it feel like it's cheapening it. Like it's cheaper. Like well, these are the HBO Max movies. This are theater movies. Like that's how I feel. So I don't know.
Imagine if like Wonder Woman 3 HBO Max
Oh
exclusive.
God, well, I'm gonna be done with that ass.
Look, we have a Snyder cut as
yeah, but that's
Warner
different.
Brothers
That's different. We know that's different. Like that was way different because that was a movie that should have been in theaters.
I wonder why they're just gonna make. I don't know why they didn't just make Chronicle 2. To tell you the truth, like I wanted Chronicle 2 with the same characters.
Yeah,
but now,
with the same characters. It's like they trying to do the Force. Like the same thing they did with Ghostbusters.
It feels like they're just doing like a rebootquel.
Yeah, rebootquel, and then it's like, oh yeah, let's make it all women. It's like, why do they gotta be? I don't mind. Listen, I don't mind women being in it. I don't even mind a woman being the main character. But it's like, to me, that makes it feel like it's some kind of hidden agenda. Like, oh, they all got it. They did the same thing with Ghostbusters. It's like, oh, they're all women. Like they're making a statement or something. It's like it bombed. So I don't know, man.
Oh man, I hope this movie doesn't bomb. Well, actually, no, I take that back. I don't know, man. Like, what if it was gonna be like this? You make a Chronicle 2 with all females, and then in Chronicle 3, the last dude from the surviving member of the Chronicle 1, they have like a little crossover, for Chronicle 3. That would be.
I'll be into that. But see, the characters got to be cool in the Chronicle too. Like if they're women and they're all like, super sensitive women and stuff, and it's like it don't work, then it's like I'm not gonna be excited to see them cross over. So I hope like it. I just wish they would have gave us the sequel.
Plus, that guy's like 10 years older and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I wish, and then he probably don't even look like a kid no more. He's probably like an old man. But like, I just wish they would have gave us a sequel to that, man.
True,
like,
true,
damn, I love that movie.
True. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about anything else. Do you have anything you want to do?
And James Gunn returning to do more DC films, I really believe that. I really think, because one thing, I feel like they had a great working relationship. You know what I mean? I think because DC, first of all, they came in and scooped them up when Disney hold them out. You know, and so I think James Gunn will always have a special place in his heart for them for doing that. And then also from my understanding, they let him do whatever they want. It was no studio interference, and that's
rated R and everything.
Right,
yeah.
and that's partially why you see this movie, and it just feels like a dude that literally had no restrictions. Like, he's doing all kind of things with the structure that's very ballsy. He's doing, like you said, with the letters and shit. Like, he's so risky in this movie.
I think it's easier for him to do that when you're not working with like a Superman or a Batman, because you don't have to worry about like the next movie or the franchise. Or like there's no meddling. There's no need to meddling. Who cares about Polka Dot Man?
Yeah,
Polka Dot Man.
And then it fits well with James Gunn, because James Gunn, he's more interested in these obscure characters. Like with Marvel, he did Guardians of the Galaxy. With DC, he did Suicide Squad. And I think they offered him Superman. They was like, "Hey, you want to do Superman?" He's like, "Nah, I'd rather do Suicide Squad." So like it fits him perfect where he could do whatever the hell he want. You know what I mean? So
I think it's kind of interesting. Like I don't know who's better at it, but if it's Disney or Warner Brothers. But I want to give the edge to Warner Brothers, and it feels like Warner Brothers is more, at least just from optics standpoint, they're more easier to partner with than Disney.
That's to me. I
because
disagree.
Like Patty Jenkins, you got your Zack Snyder at the time, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like
I see what
James
you're saying.
Wan or
James Wan.
Like it seems like they're like okay with giving them more carte blanche, whereas Disney, you got to play by our rules, and you got to make the movie that we're telling you to make.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying. I just think that I feel like with Warner Brothers, their movies, they're not connecting. They're not doing as good of a job connecting their DCEU.
Yeah.
So I like, if you think about it, you watch Aquaman.
Matt Reeves, do whatever you want.
Aquaman has nothing to do with nothing. Like you watch it, it's its own movie. So they literally tell James Wan, do your thing. Just don't kill Aquaman. Don't kill none of the main characters. Do your thing. And they're just doing that. And so like with Marvel, it's like, look, we got this roadmap. So
you can't do this.
Right,
this,
but
this,
from my understanding, they're still very free with their what's the name. They'll just have a specific, like, okay, make sure this happens in the movie because this gotta connects to this. So just make sure this this happened, and then you're good. So from my understanding, it's like they have a good working relationship with all their directors, and that's why so many of their directors come back to direct other movies. Like James Gunn coming back to do Suicide Squad. I mean, to do
Volume 3.
3, yeah. So I think they both have good working relationship. It's just DC, they're more free because they don't have a plan. They just like make whatever movie you want to do. So.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I guess that's true. I guess so with like more freedom comes less connectedness, but that's true. But like, I'm still never gonna forgive Marvel for what they did with Ant-Man 1. Remember like was it? Not Peyton Reed,
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright. Yeah,
and that sucks because Edgar Wright is an elite director. Like I'm so like, and Ant-Man 1 is okay. I don't like that. I think the movie's straight. I don't like dislike it or nothing. But Edgar Wright Ant-Man, it would have been one of the great superhero movies ever. Like he's the dude that gave us Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Edgar Wright is great, and he got a movie coming out this year that I'm just excited for. So yeah, but yeah, it happens sometimes. Sometimes directors don't see eye to eye with the production.
That's true. All right, we'll go ahead and move it on to check this out. And we're gonna do some trailer reactions without you guys being able to see the trailer because, again, we don't play with copyright claims. Actually, I take that back. You know what I was thinking about? I thought to myself last week is like because I'm on someone else's channel, who gives a fuck? I'm just gonna like let them copyright claim that shit. But I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do them like that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do them like that. I did think about it, but you know, I'm gonna take care as if I was on my own channel, okay? So, plus I don't want to confuse the format. I don't want to overpromise you guys, and then y'all follow me, and like, where are the trailers at? Like, so, all right, we're gonna. Luckily, you know, much like it was a slow news week, it's also a slow trailer week. There were only 4 trailers that came out, and a 5th one was like a teaser. So for trailers go, we're gonna start off with Kate. Ooh, let me just mute that. We have a movie starring Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and it's coming out on Netflix on September 10th. And it also stars Woody Harrelson. Okay. So after she's irreversibly poisoned, a ruthless criminal operative has less than 24 hours to exact her revenge on enemies. So it's basically it's sort of, I've seen this trailer. It seems like a by the numbers, like action movie kind of things. Yeah. It's like another Netflix movie.
Yeah. I'm not excited
Have
for
you seen
it
the
at all.
trailer?
Yeah, I did. And,
okay.
And like, here's the thing. Like you said, we've seen this plot so many goddamn times. Like, I feel like I done seen this trailer before.
It's like John Wick.
Yeah, John
but
Wick.
With woman, and then like a little
Kill
bit of Crank.
Bill, a little bit like, yeah. It's like we've seen this. What's the movie? Oh, dang it. What's the movie? I can't even think of the name. Blonde,
Atomic Blonde.
Atomic
Blonde.
Blonde.
Look, it even says right there. Look at it. From the producer, from a producer.
From
it says
Comic
from
Blonde.
a producer.
From Comic Blonde. Yeah, it's like we done seen this so many times, man. It's like, yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be something about this that's slightly different from the other ones, but it's overall.
Got Woody Harrelson.
Oh yeah, Woody Harrelson, and he's a great actor too. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not excited for this at all.
Okay. Well,
I do like that actress though.
Yeah.
And speaking of, I think she is in. We was just talking about Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I think she's in it.
Yeah,
so,
she's in it.
Yeah,
and
I
she's
like
in like Die Hard 4.
Yeah.
Live Free or Die Hard.
Yeah. So I like her, the actress. I'm not gonna lie, but the CGI looks shitty, like a video game. Like
just as you said it, as like an action sequence.
Yeah,
happened.
like I don't know.
All right. Cool. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about it either. It's just another run-of-the-mill action movie. I'm going to be happy it's going to be on Netflix. At least I'll probably check it out and watch it and give you guys impressions. I mean, it's not going to cost me anything other than time to watch it, so it is what it is. The next one is Cop Shop, and it's an interesting premise where like it stars Frank Grillo and Gerard Butler. And the movie is about a con artist who decides to run from an assassin and hide inside of a police station. So he gets himself turned in and like arrested, and then all these assassins and hitmen are coming after them by getting inside of the police station, and then just hijinks, action ensues and stuff like that. So I don't know. Have you actually seen the trailer? Or are you familiar with the premise?
No, I never heard it or seen the trailer.
Yeah, what's going to be coming out in theaters next month in September? Let me get you the date here.
Listen,
September 17th.
Gerard Butler is like, I think he's one of the top guys in Hollywood that's that's very bad at picking movies. Every single movie I've ever, just about done, every movie I've ever seen him in is bad. Like, I don't even think, I'm trying to think of a movie that is good that he's ever been in. Maybe Law-Abiding Citizen, 300, yeah, 300. And I mean, and that, yeah, 300, that's a good movie, but that's like just all out action fun. But yeah, like all his movies pretty much be so damn bad. So it's like when I see a Gerard Butler movie, even if the premise looks all right, I just gotta assume that it's gonna be bad. Like, I don't think he makes good movies ever.
He's like, you know how like when Bruce Willis makes a straight-to-DVD movie?
Yeah.
Gerard Butler's, his movies are coming in theaters, but they're just as bad.
Just as bad. And the thing about it is, and it sucks, it's very unfortunate because Gerard Butler, to me, is a solid actor. Like, his scenes are like, his performance is good. Like, if you just look at him, he's good in all of them. It's like, why do you pick these bad movies, bro? Like, you could be in any movie. You choose to be in the most worst movies
White
ever.
House Down, man. Don't talk shit about White House Down.
That movie is so bad.
Not White House Down, is it? No, Olympus Has Fallen.
Olympus Has
That's
Fallen.
the one.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
I get those mixed up too. Yeah. London is falling.
Yeah.
All of them were
Yeah.
bad, man. London, Olympus.
I watched all three of them those Has Fallen trilogy unironically. So in theaters at that.
God, man.
So, but anyways, yeah, that's Cop Shop. The links for these trailers will be in the description. Again, it's like an action movie. And then next up is Cry Macho, which is a Clint Eastwood movie of all things. It's a Warner Brothers produced movie, which means that it's going to be coming straight to HBO Max, as well as in theaters on September 17th as well. So September 17th is looking a little full. But it's I saw the trailer and it's very emotional. Like there's something about, there's like a nerve that it hits me. And I don't know if you've seen the trailer or not.
Yeah, I've seen it.
But there's definitely, it's interesting that, like, with Clint Eastwood being as old as he is, he has like a certain wisdom that he wants to impart onto the viewers. Because this movie, like, had definitely like leans on like the miles on Clint Eastwood's face. He's like, yeah, man, I've been through stuff.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of interesting is, like, back in the day in the westerns and stuff like that, Clint Eastwood was like the embodiment of like machismo and like being macho and being a man, you know?
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to him, like in his older age, is kind of like sort of calling bullshit on his own, like, you know, machismo and stuff like that. Is like, man, that macho shit, that ain't nothing, man. No, it's not important.
Yeah.
And so it's an interesting way of, like, you know, sort of like imparting, and like there's like a certain thing that, like, it just sort of strikes a nerve with me.
Yeah.
And I'm very interested in seeing this movie.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah. Like the trailer looked all right to me. It just amazes me that he's still able to get these movies made through Warner Brothers. Like, all his movies be made through Warner Brothers, and like they always make his movies. That's crazy. And but yeah, it looks pretty good to me. I think one of the scenes that I like when he got the little chicken and he like named him Macho. He's like, he's macho. Yeah, whatever.
You named the cock macho.
You know, you're a cock macho. Like, that was like funny or whatever. But it's something about the tone to me that make it feels like it's gonna be these scenes that's gonna be heartbreaking. Like, it wouldn't surprise me, like, if the kid dies or something at the end or something, or he dies. You know, we seen it in that movie that he did, Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo. It kind of got a Gran Turismo feel to it. I think
Turismo. It's right.
Something like that. Gran Turismo or something. But yeah, it kind of has that feel to it.
Yeah.
And
Gran Torino. That's what
Gran
it's called?
Torino. Yeah, Torino. Gran Torino. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, so I think it wouldn't surprise me if they do that. I don't know in terms of quality how good it is, because Clint Eastwood as a director these days, he's very iffy. Like, one movie he might do really good and the next movie bad, next one good. So
really, because I always think he's always good. Like, and I think of like $1 Million Baby, and I think
but see,
like,
you're going back. Like, you got his more recent movies. They haven't been that good. Like, the last one he did that I liked was the Plane movie.
Because didn't he do a movie where he was a drug smuggler, and that I thought that was
that
good.
movie that movie wasn't that good.
Oh shit! Well, I haven't seen it. I've only
the trailer. I was excited about it because the trailer looked fantastic.
Yeah, he was sweating and shit.
Yeah, he's sweating,
like,
and you think it's suspenseful. No, it's not that good. It's not that good of a movie. Trust me, I thought it was gonna be that good. But like, I'm telling you, like, he's very streaky. Like, him as a classic director, he made some all-time great movies. You know what I mean? But lately, I'm talking about, he's been streaky. So I don't know if this is gonna be one of his good ones.
Didn't he make a movie with Justin Timberlake, or am I tripping?
I don't think so.
But anyways, I was just trying to think about like a filmography like I thought he did or something like that.
I don't think so.
Let's see here. I'm gonna pull up Clint Eastwood's IMDb.
The one he did with the airplane was the last one I liked with Tom Hanks. That one was really good.
All right, so just pulling up his acting stuff. So you got The Mule, which is the one I was talking about.
That one really
so American Sniper, he was uncredited. Okay, whatever. Trouble with the Curve. That's the one I'm thinking about. Trouble with the Curve. Let's see who's in that movie. It was Amy Adams, Justin Timberlake.
Was it directed by him?
I don't know. No, it was not.
Oh.
It was not directed by him.
Okay, so it's just a movie with him in it.
Yeah. I was thinking about that, but I'm looking at his acting credits here. But yeah, there's a lot of $1 Million Baby 04, Gran Torino 08, Trouble with the Curve 2012. Man, he takes 4 years between movies.
Yeah. But because it takes a while to direct film, so you know what I'm saying. But you notice all his great movies are like a long time ago. $1 Million Baby 2004. If you look at the movies he's done recently, they haven't been that good.
All right, yeah. So he directed Richard Jewell Damn.
Yeah, Richard Jewell. That was a good one. Okay, that was a good one.
The 1517 to Paris. Isn't that a good one?
No.
Isn't that like about a terrorist attack that they was?
Yeah, but that movie wasn't that good though.
Oh, shit.
Nah, the potential was there. I like Sully. I like
Oh, I forgot he directed American Sniper. Fuck.
Did he direct it?
Yeah, he directed that.
Damn,
that's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
See, I was looking at his acting credit, but now I'm looking at his directing credit. His directing credit is better than his acting credit.
But I'm saying not of late though. But I do like Richard Jewell. But the Mule wasn't good. 15 to Paris wasn't good. Sully was okay. American Sniper, that was great. Jersey Boys was atrocious. J. Edgar was atrocious. With Leonardo DiCaprio, oh my God, that whole was terrible. I never seen
Hereafter.
I never
Was the
seen
Matt Damon one.
Yeah, I never seen that one.
Yeah, I think I saw that one. But yeah, no, it's just we went on a tangent here. All right, next up, Annette is Amazon Prime movie. It's coming out next week. So it's not gonna be on new releases until next week's stuff, but it's an Adam Driver, Marion Cotillard movie.
I want to see that bad. Oh my God!
So check this out. It came out in theaters last Friday, and I
didn't Ridley Scott direct that too?
Directed by Leo Carax.
Oh, okay.
It arrived in theaters on August 6th. I'm sure it's limited, and then it's gonna land on Amazon Prime on August 20th.
I'm watching that.
I don't know. You know what's kind of interesting is like I've seen the trailers, and I am in no way, shape, or form like excited at all. Like I don't want to watch this movie. These trailers don't do anything for me.
Oh my God,
This movie looks boring to me.
I'm excited, man. It looks
well shot.
Yeah,
I will say it looks very,
listen,
like
the level
style.
The level of acting they have in this, like Adam Driver, top 5 actor working today. Marion Cotillard, she's a Oscar winner. She's an all-time great. And then the movie just looks just like creative genius. It looks so artful. Like it feels like it's gonna be different. And I like movies that provoke something that's like I feel like I'm gonna be experiencing something new. So I'm over the moon about this.
Academy Award nominee, and then Adam Driver, an Academy Award winner, Marion Cotillard.
Yeah, but trust me, Adam Driver's going to be a winner soon.
Adam Driver's character is a stand-up comedian with a fierce sense of humor who falls in love with Marion Cotillard's character, a world-renowned opera singer. Under the spotlight, they form a passionate and glamorous couple. The birth of their first child, Annette, a mysterious little girl with an exceptional destiny, will turn their lives upside down.
Damn, that sounds so fascinating, man. I'm so excited for that.
And finally, the last trailer, and this isn't much to talk about. It's a Stranger Things season 4 sneak peek. It's one of those trailers that like flashes very, very fast, and you have to watch the trailer in like 0.25 speed just to get everything. But I'm like, half of this trailer, like the first 15 seconds, it's a 30-second teaser, by the way. Like the first 15 seconds is all like this footage from seasons 1 through 3. So you don't have any new footage.
I hate when these trailers do that. Like they know they need to have something out for marketing, but they don't want to be showing shit. So yeah, I hate it.
Yeah, so they're like reminding you at the end. It's like, hey, seasons 1 through 3 are currently now streaming. We're gonna see season 4 come out in 2022. So those are the trailers. There wasn't a lot there as far as like exciting trailers or whatever, but it is a slow trailer week. We're gonna go ahead and play a sound effect that I haven't played in. I just checked the tape. It's been 6 weeks since I played this sound effect. It's time for topic of the show. So, for topic of the show, there is I was sort of having a like writer's block lately, and I haven't been able to do a topic in a while. So, I thought of this one. What are your thoughts and opinions on director's cuts?
I don't like them. Well, here's why. It's not that I don't like the director's cut. I just wish that the directors get their cut from the jump. Like, I don't like the idea of this theater version and a director's cut. Like, the director, give the director his cut. You know what I mean? So,
it almost kind of makes it seem like the theatrical version isn't the director's.
Isn't the director's. It's almost like the studio. And a lot of times that's true because, yes, you have a director that's on set telling people what to do, but the studio edits it and tells them that you can't have this or you can't have that. And so the
That's
product
gotta get cut, you know.
right, yeah. So the product you see on screen,
Or even better yet, whenever they do test screenings and then they have to change the ending.
change it,
Oh,
because
yeah.
they don't like the ending, like that kind of stuff. It really always sucked in terms of for the medium of movie making, and I always didn't like it. But that being said, a lot of times I love director's cut to see what the director's vision was, and usually the vision was better than what was in theaters.
That's why I was surprised by you said that, by the way, because like I love director's cuts and stuff like that. I eat them up. I'm like, oh yeah, let me get that Blu-ray because it's got the director's cuts or whatever. And it's like, and I wanted to ask you a question about like with certain movies like. I like Blade Runner, that like the director's cuts like changes the ending. It changes the ending a lot. It's not just changing the context; it's changing like the actual story.
Yeah, right.
And so like I wanted to ask you like as far as like canonicity goes, we've been seeing stuff like the Snyder Cut, for instance. You know, where like it's sort of it already blurred the lines with the BVS director's cut, the Ultimate Edition. Yeah. And how that basically it added context without changing the canonicity. Yeah. But this one is like it's a whole different canon. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on like in general? Do you think that movies that are like sort of standalone-ish when they get a director's cuts, like when you see something, do you feel like that's like more canon than the original?
Well, no, because listen, I always feel like the movie that come out, whether I like it or not, the movie that come out in theaters is the canon, and I always look at the director's cut is a what if, like even if it's better or worse, it's like this is what like an Elseworld story. Like if it was a comic book, it'd be like, okay, this is an Elseworlds comic book. You know what I mean? So like when I look at the Justice League, like I look at the Justice League, the Snyder cut as the Snyder version, like Elseworlds version, and I look at the bad version as the canon version, even though that's bad.
So BVS, the theatrical cut, is the canon version.
But well, see, BVS. Here's the thing with BVS, like you just mentioned, the BVS to me is the same movie. Like BVS, they just add context.
It just adds context
and character moments
to not because the theatrical version has plot holes.
And
it fills it in.
It fills it in. Like it tells you shit where it's like, oh, that's why that made. Well, damn, that should have been in the movie. You know what I mean? Like that's it. Like, but I don't feel like when you watch BVS, the BVS, the long version, I don't feel like, oh, these are two different movies. If you watch the Justice League theatrical version and the Snyder cut, they make it's two different movies. It's still some of the same scenes, but in terms of the story, it's a different story. You know what I mean? So I feel like in that situation, the BVS situation, I feel like it's the same shit. But like with stuff like the Justice League, I feel like you got the canon version and then you got the version that's an Elseworld story. That's how I look at it.
So it's kind of interesting that it's like, the theatrical cuts has, it slaps the director's name on it and everything like that. And it's interesting to think how like a director, even they may not be dissatisfied, or they may be like feeling like some kind of ways about their movies that they turn in or that gets, released. So it's, at least they have an outlet, when it comes to like the home releases and stuff like that. I don't think there's ever been a director's cut that's been screened theatrically, unless there is, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. But most of these things, they're just going to be home releases, like straight to VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, streaming, depending on what era you are in. But no, I just think it's interesting to think your take on it and stuff like that. I always kind of feel like I almost kind of feel like you're right. Director's cuts should be like the thing that should have been made from the jump, because from a creativity standpoint, it should be like, let the artist be through the art.
Right, exactly.
And executives shut the hell up and move away.
I mean, and the thing was so bad about it and what's so unfortunate about it is, like how you said, the name is up there. So as bad as this movie is, I'm going to say so-and-so directed this movie, right? Yeah. When he really didn't want that.
Like David Ayer doesn't like that his name is on the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, like that's forever going to be associated with his name. Like when someone from 50 years ago, like, I'm going to watch the Suicide. It was directed by David Ayer, and they watch it as a piece of shit. They're like, well, David Ayer did a bad job on this movie. But they don't know that the studio told him he couldn't edit it how he wanted to and all this and all that. You know what I mean? And I think that's what I don't like about it, is because it could potentially hurt their career too, because another studio's like, man, he just made this piece of shit, we ain't gonna hire him, and he like, look, dude, I didn't want to do that shit. Like,
now, that did not happen with Josh Trank. with Fantastic Four.
Yeah, it did happen with Josh Trank. You know,
He got like fired through the post production.
To be fair, I think it has something else to do with some other stuff. But I think.
But the point stands.
Yeah, the point stands. And so like that's why I think it's so unfortunate, and that's why I think directors, part of their job is to try to make sure they don't be in them situations. Like make sure in the meetings that you have, y'all see eye to eye to where they won't. Hopefully, you could do something where they don't do that.
You could tell, and when I was thinking about Fantastic Four, you could tell the second half of the movie was directed by someone else.
Completely.
It's a completely different movie.
Completely different. And the thing about what's so unfortunate about Fantastic Four, like the idea of it felt good. Like I felt like it could, in another world, it could have been a good movie, but it's just too much meddling just ruined the damn movie. And so, and I haven't seen Josh Trank work since. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think he did one Al Capone movie with Tom Hardy was bad, but he haven't been working since. And like them kind of things can ruin your career, you know what I mean? And so that's why I just wish there was only one director's cut. I mean, just one cut. And the elite.
But it's kind of like a compromise, though. If you think about when you think about a theatrical cut, it's like the one thing that everyone can agree on. Like studios and directors, like okay, fine, unless you're David Ayer. But
yeah.
I don't like the idea of like the reports are saying like, oh, they locked him out of the editing room. Like that's not cool.
Yeah, no, that's not cool. Well, I mean, listen, if you're a lead director, you don't got to worry about this. Quentin Tarantino, Christopher Nolan, Martin Scorsese,
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. Certain directors, they're gonna get their cut. If you see it on big screen, you know it's them because a studio ain't gonna say, "Hey, Quentin Tarantino, you can't make this."
You're not gonna tell Christopher Nolan no.
You're not gonna tell Christopher Nolan no. You know what I'm saying? But it took them. They had to get to that point by making great movies, but some directors don't get to have that same luxury, and studios take their movie from them. So it sucks. It really do. But the reason why, just to bring up why I feel like the theatrical version is canon, because I feel like when you do a sequel to the movie, I don't think you can do a sequel to the director's cut because the vast majority of the people only seen it in theaters, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? So you can't do a sequel to
I think that's what happened. I think that's what happened with Blade Runner 2022 or 2020, whatever
the newest Blade Runner.
Yeah, I think they made it the theatrical
sequel to the theatrical instead of Ridley Scott's version. Yeah, because you can't do it. So that's why I feel like even if it's bad, like Justice League to me, the theater version, I hate it, but that's canon to me. And I feel like if they do a sequel,
it's gonna only have to play off of that.
It's got to play off of that. Like so, but that's how I feel about it.
So I pulled up an article here while researching this topic of the show. It says 22 director's cuts that massively changed their original movies. We're not going to read the article here because I'm going to put a link to it in the show notes, though. It's got interesting stuff. It gives us 22 director's cuts, and it tells us what's the difference. It has paragraphs explaining what is different from the original to the new one. It gives us all the cuts. It gives us like the run times of the movies.
I know they got the legendary Richard Donner Superman version on here.
Woo! Yes.
That's one of them that's way better. Like it's crazy how much better that one is. R.I.P. to him too. I think he just passed.
Yeah, he did. We covered it a few weeks ago. But yeah, so the first one I just wanted to say is the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I have never seen the extended cuts. The extended cuts only came out on DVD. They may have been released on Blu-ray, but at the time, back in like 01, 02, and 03, there were only DVDs at the time. And so there was like a DVD box set where it's like 4 DVDs per movie. And one of them was like an extended cut where it's like each movie was already 3 hours long. And now each movie is about 4 hours long. So like you can see 178 minutes for Fellowship of the Ring, 208 minutes for the extended.
That shit's crazy. Like that's just
252 minutes for okay. Return of the King was 201 minutes in the theaters. 252 minutes. That's what is it like? Let me do the math on this one here. Calculator. Give me 252 divided by 60, and that is 4.2 hours.
God damn. That's just too fucking long right there.
I know, wait, fuck you. I watched the Snyder Cut. That was 4 hours.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, I felt like, the regular version of Justice League wasn't already 3 hours, and they made it 4. It's like, to me, that's self-indulgent. Like, damn, my movie is already long as fuck. Let's make it even longer. It's like, God
And then
damn.
if you binge watch all 3 of these movies, I think it's like 11 hours.
God
11
damn,
point
bro,
something
that's
hours.
half a day almost. That's like literally half an entire day.
You know what? I'm gonna find them, man. I'm gonna watch them.
God damn, bro. But I'm actually would be excited to watch that, though. Me being a Lord of the Rings fan.
I've seen all 3 movies theatrically, and so I haven't watched it in such a long time. I don't remember a lot actually, so it's kind of faded. But you know what? Before I scroll through the rest of the movies, do you actually want to give any shout outs to any director's cuts that you can think
The
of?
Richard Donner Superman, the Ridley Scott Blade Runner.
Give me top 3 best director's cuts to ever be made.
I can't even think of, but only ones that come to my mind is the Ridley Scott Blade Runner, Richard Donner's Superman, and I'm trying to think what else is a theatrical cut. I can't really think of none off the top of my head. And then of course Justice League.
We'll go ahead and hit up this list and we'll see what you got. The next up we got Kingdom of Heaven. This movie was trash in theaters, but apparently Ridley Scott. He's got a situation where he's like, I'm gonna do a director's cut. Ridley Scott had a better director's cut than he did in theaters.
Oh yeah, damn, he the king of the director cut.
Really? Apocalypse Now, apparently.
I didn't know Apocalypse Now had a
Redux. It had 2. It had 2 director's cut. There was a Redux. I remember that one. I didn't know about Apocalypse Now Final Cut.
I didn't know about either one of them.
Now I know about Apocalypse Now. I remember like the story about how like Marlon Brando was so hard to work with, and there was like production issues and all this other stuff. Wait, I didn't know Lawrence Fishburne was in this bitch. Okay, all right. Next up, Superman 2.
Of course.
Richard Donner.
Yeah.
Blade Runner.
Of course.
Aliens.
Damn, Ridley Scott.
James Cameron.
That boy. I mean, I'm tripping. Yeah, James Cameron did do it. Wait, that's the second,
second
one.
one.
Okay, the second one. I forget the second one is Aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Alien 3. So that's David Fincher. Wait, 3 movies like David Fincher, James Cameron, Ridley Scott? What the fuck?
What the hell is going on with this? Like,
You got
all 3 elite directors and they still get directed. God damn.
Holy shit.
Bro,
okay, all right.
Man. But I think this was David Fincher's first movie too, so I can understand them fucking him over because it's like he's just not getting in the game, you know.
They call it the assembly cut. So that's interesting.
Well, what the fuck? Assembly cut? That don't
It's usually
count.
wrong.
Well, no, assembly cut.
I know what assembly cuts. Assembly cuts is whenever you're making a rough draft.
Yeah, that shit don't count. Like, what you gonna release the rough draft? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
So for non-movie fans, like just to give you guys an example, when someone makes a movie for the first time, their first cut is called the assembly cut, and it's a way to sort of give it a rough draft and sort of figure out what needs to get taken out for pacing.
Yeah.
So they're calling it the assembly cut, which means I'm pretty sure that's probably every scene they filmed, presumably.
Yeah, I don't know. That made me just feel like they put shit in here now. Like, you know,
I don't know why. I would never call my director's cut the assembly
cut. Like that
That's
makes
gonna
it
be
like,
wrong.
oh, it's just not done. Like that's what it's gonna think of.
BVS.
Yes. Okay. They got that in there.
Donnie Darko. I've never seen the director's cut. I've only seen the original movie, and I wasn't really a fan of the movie. I was just watching
Never
it.
seen it.
The Shining.
The Shining.
Stanley Kubrick. Of course, he's gonna have a good bomb-ass director's cut. Look, one of the things. Okay, Doctor Sleep. One of the, as a general trend I've been noticing is like it's always badass directors.
Yeah. That's gonna make it better. Yeah. That's why I was like, y'all should have trusted them in the first place. Like
The Abyss, James Cameron again, like
The
badass
Abyss.
directors and stuff. We got Metropolis. I don't know this one. This is a movie from 1927.
yeah, that's like they say.
But I've
Star
seen
Wars.
this-
Star Wars. Like what's the name had a lot of influence on Star Wars and a lot of stuff like going forward. This movie had a lot of influence on a lot of them.
I've seen this before, but as far as like, look how many cuts there are. There was one that made it shorter. And then, theatrical cut, and then there's like this version, which is 83 minutes, like whatever. Next up, Once Upon a Time in America.
Yeah. Oh damn! How did that one not come to my mind? That's the greatest one of all time. That's the
Robert De Niro, man.
because he I think that cut got finished after he died. He wanted to make it long and he wanted to do a lot of stuff to it and he just never could. And then when he passed away, his family ended up doing it for him and finished it. But the finished version, I mean the director's cut of this one way better, way better. It makes Once Upon a Time in America one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah, like there was a Cannes Film Festival cut, which was the longest cut out of all of them at 269 minutes.
Yeah, Sergio Leone is a special director. His westerns was amazing.
Watchmen.
Oh, I love
Zack Snyder's
Watchmen.
going to be dominating this
Yeah,
list.
I loved Watchmen. His version of Watchmen was fucking phenomenal.
Which is kind of crazy because the theatrical cut was already 3 hours long.
Yeah.
And then they had, there was two of them. There was a director's cut and an ultimate cut.
Oh, see,
I didn't even
know it was another cut. Well, one of the cuts I seen was great.
I Am Legend.
I didn't
Now,
know they had one.
they only, it was a different ending. It's an alternate. I've seen it. I've seen it. It's just a different ending.
I think I remember that. I do remember an alternate ending with that. Yeah, I do remember that.
X-Men Days of Future Past.
Yeah,
the road cut.
The road cut. I seen that, and that's really the same. It just had Rogue at the.
It's an extra subplot.
Yeah, it really wasn't even a subplot. She was just, it kind of is. Yeah, they just added her in the movie, like Rogue.
Go rescue her and everything. Yeah, and just basically a way of giving the guys in the future more things to do than just
fighting
just
at
hold
the
the wall.
beginning.
Hold the wall.
Yeah, for the whole time.
Touch of Evil. Orson Welles. Okay. Wolfgang Peterson. Das Boot. Okay.
Never heard of that. I'm gonna have to see that. That shit look
I know
good.
who Wolfgang Peterson is, but yeah.
Of course.
Brazil.
Brazil? They got a
1985.
what is that? Director's cut?
Terry Gilliam. I know who that is.
This
Robert De Niro. Damn.
This makes me wonder. Oh yeah, Robert De Niro was in all the classics at that time. He's an all-time great. But it makes me wonder. Like when I see movies like this, I wonder which version that I see. Cause I don't know if I seen the theatrical version or the director's cut. Like I don't know.
Leon. Oh, I remember this one. I've seen this movie. There was what the hell is this version Integral? Okay, it's a Jean Reno, Natalie Portman movie. I think it's called Leon the Assassin in America. I don't think it's called Leon in this list, but it's called Leon the Assassin. And apparently I know for a fact I've only seen the theatrical cut. There's no way I would have seen this longer version. Little Shop of Horrors, 1986, directed by Frank Oz. So yeah, that's a pretty banging list though. I will say
that list is crazy. That list is crazy, and it just trips me out. It goes, if you see this list, it just like let them release their version like from the jump, man, because all these lists, it should have been you, especially all these legendary directors that's on this damn list. You know what I'm saying?
But a lot of times with for things like Alien 3, they're not a legendary director yet.
Yeah.
David Fincher,
they starting off, so they don't trust them yet.
Yeah. So
that's why it's not a good idea. I think if I was started directing, I wouldn't make a big blockbuster movie as my first movie. I'd make a couple of smaller ones so they could trust me.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was fun. I had a good time with that topic of the show. That was actually really good.
That was a good one. That was a good one for sure.
We'll go ahead and move on to Netflix and chill. All right, so for Netflix and chill, we do the charts for the top 10 things on streaming services, as well as a recommendation for you guys to watch on a streaming service right now. So first things first is let's talk about the top 10 things that are on Netflix. At number 1, Vivo, which was the new release for last week that I was definitely talking about. I was like, it's an animated movie, Lin-Manuel Miranda. My nephew's seen the movie. He said he liked it. He was really good, and I haven't had time to watch it. I'll probably watch it later. Number 2 is Outer Banks, which is a show. Number 3 is All American, also a show. Number 4 is Hit and Run. Number 5 is Cocaine Cowboys, The Kings of Miami, which I believe was like a docu-series, I want to say. Number 6 is Aftermath. Number 7 is The Vault, the Freddie Highmore movie. Number 8 is this Top Secret UFO Projects Declassified. That's some like fucking History Channel shit that I've ever seen on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm gonna see that though. I be into that UFOs and all that shit. I'm into that shit.
Conspiracy theory shit.
Yeah,
I'm eating that up.
Eating all that shit up. Like, real talk.
Number 9 is The Losers, which is Chris Evans and Zoe Saldana. Number 10.
Coco Melon.
Yeah,
you know that's gonna stay in.
I'm a little afraid that it's too far at the bottom.
I know it's
at
at
number
10.
8.
Yeah, it's at 10. Like, it make me feel like it might drop off. Shit.
All right, but yeah, that's some good stuff. Yeah, I will check out Vivo for you guys later on. For the top 10 movies. So again, filtering out all the shows, we're leaving with just the movies. Vivo, Aftermath, and The Vault, and The Losers remain in the spots 1 through 4, and then Major Pain
Damn,
Of all things.
that old ass movie.
Yeah, was it Damon Wayans or Marlon? What's his name?
One of them.
It's one of the
Wayans.
One of the Wayans and stuff. Man, that movie was so hilarious, man. I just remember that one time when he was talking to that kid, the deaf kid, for the first time. Yeah. He was like, "I'm gonna take my foot and stick it up your ass."
Yeah, that shit was funny. Yeah.
Number 6 is The Swarm, which is like I've been noticing a lot of these things on the trends as far as like movies. A lot of movies and shows tend to be foreign films.
Yeah.
That they're importing.
But I be feeling like they foreign films they be having be good. Man.
Yeah.
I be watching the fuck out them. Huh?
But you know what's kind of interesting is they be slapping the Netflix originals brand, but it's not it's not a Netflix original. Netflix didn't make it. They're just buying the rights.
Yeah. But I mean that counts though, because that's what studios do all the time. Like when you see them when they be having them film festivals, they be hoping like Warner Brothers or someone come by it.
Scoop 'em up,
and then when they put the movie out, it says Warner Brothers Studio, like from Warner Brothers.
But it wasn't.
But
it wasn't greenlit by
Warner. Right. So that's why they kind of got the right to do that. You know, when they do buy it. You know.
So The Swarm is a movie about like locusts, like a swarm of locusts, and they're blood hungry. They have a taste of human flesh, and they want to eat people. So
sounds interesting.
A Resort to Love, a romantic comedy. Number 8 is Palms, which is like a senior citizen movie where like they're at a senior citizen like retirement area and they want to be cheerleaders or something like that. Number 9 is the Sandra Bullock movie from 1995 called The Net, and number 10 is Rurouni Kenshin: The Beginning. So yeah, some good stuff. I would say Major Payne and The Net are just like
they stand out.
They stand out. Yeah. The top 10 things on iTunes. Number 1 is Pig, the Nicolas Cage movie.
Oh, what the fuck?
Number 2 is...
That's random.
I know, right? Number 2 is A Quiet Place Part 2. Number 3 is Wrath of Man. Number 4, re-entering the list, is Godzilla vs. Kong.
But why the fuck is Pig over Godzilla vs. Kong and A Quiet Place
because
Part 2?
Because it just came out. It just dropped. It just dropped on iTunes. That's why.
I guess, but shit, it don't matter, man.
Number 5 is The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. Number 6 is re-entering the list is Minari.
Damn, they got hits on their top 10. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Fuck.
Number 7 is Nobody. Number 8 is Dream Horse. Number 9, why are people paying for this, is Luca. It's on Disney Plus. You don't have to. You could just buy a month of Disney Plus for less.
I mean, you might have somebody that had iTunes and never had Disney Plus. Remember, I think Disney Plus, you got to remember, Disney Plus is focused for a certain type of people, you know.
Number 10 is Ride the Eagle. Man, the top 10 things on Amazon Prime. Number 1 is F9, The Fast Saga. Number 2 is The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. Number 3 is The Forever Purge. Number 4 is The Wrath of Man. Number 5 is A Quiet Place Part 2 in 4K. Number 6 is Roadrunner, a film about Anthony Bourdain. It's a documentary.
I thought about like the Roadrunner. Like,
I know, right?
Like
Anthony Bourdain. He's a chef, I believe.
Okay.
Number 7 is The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Number 8 is Nobody. Number 9 is News of the World. And number 10 is A Quiet Place, the HD version.
Hey, the first Quiet Place.
And did you have anything you wanted to add about or talk about on any of these lists?
Well, I'm just glad that Godzilla is on some top 10 shit. Godzilla vs. Kong. I'm excited for that. And it's crazy how both, and on Amazon Prime, got both the Quiet Places. You know what I'm saying? That's dope.
You know what's one of the things I noticed is like the top 10 iTunes doesn't have a tenant, in my opinion. There hasn't been like one of those things where it's like, this has been on here for week to week to week.
Yeah. But I mean, the iTunes, they so damn random. I see why. Like, they so random, man. Like, you always have one of them weird ass, lists with iTunes. But this is actually one of the most solid lists.
Yeah,
like, everything on quality, this list, I could tell, I see why it's a top 10 movie,
Yeah. For my recommendation this week, I am going to recommend a movie that you can find on Amazon Prime right now. And I actually went into my bookshelf back there and pulled out Catch Me If You Can.
Ooh, the Spielberg classic?
There we go.
With my boy Leo and Tom Hanks.
Yeah, it's inverted, so you guys are reading it backwards, but whatever. So yeah, Catch Me If You Can is on Amazon Prime right now. Damn. I checked, it's there. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it. It's a classic. It's from 2002. Leonardo DiCaprio was killing it. Tom Hanks was killing it. Yeah. Wasn't it directed by Steven Spielberg? So yeah, Steven Spielberg killed it. Like it's such a good movie. Like you could tell right there from like he was. It kind of feel like back in like 97, he wasn't that far removed from 97. And so he still had that like, Pretty Boy Titanic.
It came out in 03, 04.
Yeah. I'm saying like Leonardo
But he was still that young Leo, yeah.
But that's when you like sort of like knew from this movie that Leonardo DiCaprio is, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
I would
for
say
sure,
that's when he
for
came
sure.
into his own as far as
Yeah. He was. I mean, he showed it in a couple movies before that, but I agree. At that point,
he's like this generation's Daniel Day-Lewis.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was becoming the GOAT at that point.
Yeah, he was becoming the GOAT. Yeah. The movie's about.
Amy Adams is in that as well. Yeah, I forgot.
Shit, I forgot about that.
Amy Adams. That's
Before
her
she
debut.
was Amy Adams.
Yeah, that's her debut. Yeah, before she became Amy Adams. Yeah.
I honestly thought Amy Adams. I honestly thought my introduction to Amy Adams was Enchanted in 07.
Oh yeah.
But I know, like, as far as like the synopsis, it's Frank Abagnale Jr. He's a real guy. It's based on a true story. He's a con artist, a con man, and Leonardo DiCaprio plays him, the guy in real life, and Tom Hanks is the FBI agent looking for him. So
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
It's a good movie
Good
to
movie,
watch.
great cast.
Watch it. And Troy, what's your recommendation?
Well, I'm gonna recommend a movie that's nowhere near as good as that. Actually, I think this movie is trash. But the reason why I recommend it, because I seen this movie with 3 other females and they all liked it. I was the only one that thought it was trash, and it's on Netflix. It's called The Woman in the Window. Starring Amy Adams, actually.
I heard of it. I have not seen it, but I know what it is.
Yeah. It's a thriller. It's a thriller movie, and it's kind of like they kind of go for some Rear Window, that Rear Window vibes. It has that kind of feel, and I think it's just a bad movie. Like, what they were going for was like dope, and Amy Adams is great in the movie, of course, but it's just so paint by numbers. It's so predictable. It's a plot hole or two. But the reason why you say, well, why are you suggesting this bad movie? Well, because it stars a leading woman, and the 3 women that I watched it with liked it. So,
and I remember there was a big deal back when it was first announced, because Netflix was like, oh yeah, we got Amy Adams, we got I remember it was part of like their marketing.
They're
material.
trying to make it.
They're trying to make it seem like, oh yeah, we're on some next level ish.
Yeah, and you could tell like they was trying to go for like look, this is a big real deal movie, but it just wasn't a good movie. Like, I think they hoped and wanted it and trying to go for that, but to me it sucked. But the women that I watched it with liked it. So, like, again, you got a guy named Daniel that thinks Suicide Squad 2 was trash when it was good. So, my opinion ain't everything. So I think a lot of y'all should check it out, especially if y'all are, into like thrillers, because it's one of those thrillers, and it has a couple moments that's a little scary.
Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and finish out the show with some new releases.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Nice timing. So, new releases. We have 7 things on new releases, and it's a 2-horse race for pick of the week. So, the first horse for pick of the week is Free Guy. Comes out in theaters this Friday, August 13th. A bank teller called Guy realizes he is a background character in an open-world video game called Free City that will soon go offline. The film stars Ryan Reynolds, Jodie Comer, Lil Rel Howery, Joe Keery from Stranger Things, and Taika Waititi from, everything. So yeah, that's. I've actually been kind of excited for this movie, low key, like straight up. So I want to see this movie. Next up is Don't Breathe 2, August 13th in theaters. A blind veteran must use his military training to save a young orphan from a group of kidnappers. The film stars Stephen Lang, Brendan Sexton III, and Madeline Grace. I did look into it. It is actually a sequel and not a prequel. So it actually follows the events following the first movie. Next up, Respect. Respect comes out in theaters this Friday. It's a biopic. It's basically this year's Bohemian Rhapsody. Aretha Franklin sings in her father's church choir as a child and grows up to become an international musical superstar and legend. The film stars Jennifer Hudson, Forrest Whitaker, Marlon Wayans, Audra McDonald, Mark Maron, Tate Donovan, and Mary J. Blige. That's a pretty good cast.
That cast is solid.
Yeah. Next up is Raging Fire. It comes out in theaters this Friday. It is a Chinese movie. It came out in China last month. It made a lot of money in China, and now it's getting its U.S. release. Shan is a highly respected cop with a long history of success on dangerous cases. However, his past soon comes back to haunt him when his former protege seeks revenge against all those who have wronged him. The film stars Donnie Yen as Shan and Nicholas C. as the former protege. So I know Donnie Yen, Ip Man. Come on, man. He's like,
Donnie Yen, man.
he's a goat.
He's one of them dudes that I just want to watch. I don't care what movie it is. I just want to see him do some fucking badass shit.
Man, he was badass in was it
Star Wars?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. He was like the blind man and everything. Yeah. So Donnie Yen, man, I'll support Donnie Yen, and I know the money's gonna be going to China, but whatever. Also, I looked into who Nicholas C is. I looked him up on Wikipedia. He's like a superstar, like a Chinese superstar he's like an entrepreneur. He's a singer, a songwriter, and like he's a martial artist. He's like everything. He's like
a star out there.
Yeah. Next up is Coda, coming out on theaters this Friday and on Apple TV Plus. It's very rare for us to get like an Apple TV Plus representation on new releases. Ruby is the only hearing member of a deaf family from Gloucester, Massachusetts. At 17, she works mornings before school to help her parents and brothers keep their fishing business afloat. But in joining her high school's choir club, Ruby finds herself drawn to both her duet partner and her latent passion for singing. The film stars Amelia Jones, Eugenio Derbez, Troy Koser, Daniel Durant, and Marlee Matlin. These are all unknown name actors. I've never heard of any of them. Yeah. I normally like to spotlight. This person.
I've heard of Troy. That's because he's me.
I like to so when I do these compilings, I before researching this stuff, I always look at somebody's Wikipedia to see if they've done anything, so I can say, they've done this.
So, yeah.
So I like to throw some some extra oomph into these things. I have nothing to promote here. Yeah. So, but CODA, I forgot what they stand for, but CODA is an acronym for basically you can code for people who are deaf, so you can sign even though you can hear. So that way you can act as a bridge to someone who's deaf.
Oh, that's dope.
So a lot of times whenever deaf parents have a kid and their kids can hear, their kids are their translator. They're their CODA.
Oh, okay, that's cool. So
yeah, that's I can see why that would be on Apple TV. Next up is Beckett. Comes out this Friday on Netflix. The film follows the life and career. Oh shit! I don't have a fucking. I forgot to do a synopsis. All right, let me do this here. Let me just pull up a synopsis here on the fly because I did not write the synopsis on my doc here. So
what'd you have written down?
It was Val's. I didn't copy and paste, and it was Val from Val Kilmer's documentary. So the synopsis reads: A vacationing couple falls victim to a violent conspiracy. The film stars John David Washington, Alicia Vikander, Vicky Creeps, and Boyd Holbrook.
Okay, that's a solid cast.
John David Washington. Remember we showed you that trailer.
Yeah.
So it's this Friday on Netflix, and
that snuck up on me. I forgot all about that. not in a bad way. I just haven't been thinking about it.
Yeah. All right. And next up is Marvel Studios' What If. This on Wednesday, August 11th. Now, this is the second horse for pick of the week here. The series explores alternate timelines in the multiverse that shows that would have happened in major moments from the MCU films if they'd occurred differently. The film stars Jeffrey Wright as Uadu the Watcher and has guest voices of Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa / Star-Lord, Paul Bettany, Josh Brolin, Don Cheadle, Benedict Cumberbatch, Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, Samuel L. Jackson, Paul Rudd, and Mark Ruffalo, among others, as their MCU counterparts. So yeah, that is a lot of things going on here for new releases here. What do you think is going to be the pick of the week?
I'm gonna go with Don't Breathe 2.
No, you're not.
Yeah, that's my honest opinion. Don't Breathe 2.
Wait, you remember the first one and you were
Hell yeah, Don't Breathe 1 was my favorite horror movie that year.
Really? I would not have put Don't Breathe 2 as your pick of the week.
Yeah, Don't Breathe 2, man. I love Don't Breathe 1. I think it's actually kind of underrated a little bit. It got a good reviews when it came out, but it wasn't a hit.
Forgot about it. Yeah.
Yeah, people kind of slept on it. So I like the first one so much that that it's bleeding right into the second one, and then
You better give me impressions next week because I'm not planning on watching it. I'll watch it when it comes out.
I'm definitely gonna watch that. I'm watching that opening day.
I'm gonna watch it like when it comes out in like home release and stuff. But my pick of the week is actually Free Guy. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm gonna have to go to the theaters because it's not on streaming.
Oh yeah, not on streaming.
So
when something's not on streaming, you gotta go to the theater, which is gonna make this movie some more box office money.
So yeah,
remember that Warner Brothers?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go to theaters and I'm gonna have impressions for you guys next week for Free Guy. But that's my pick of the week. Of course, I'm gonna give you guys impressions on What If. The reason why I don't pick it as a pick of the week is because it's only gonna be episode 1, and on top of that, I think episode 1 has got the Peggy Carter one, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're in chronological order, and I believe it's the one where it's the first Avenger, Captain America, the first Avenger. What If? Yeah. So I'm not really looking forward to that one. I'm looking forward to like the later episodes.
I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be controversial. I'm not really excited for Marvel What If like that. I'm not like because I like the version of Marvel that they did so much that. Like, I feel like an alternate version is going to be a less version to me. So
they said it's canon, by the way. I don't know if you know this, but what happened with Loki, they're saying that these are all the timelines that...
the variant timelines, yeah.
So,
I don't know.
And they may cross over.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm just not excited for it. And I'm not really the biggest fan of the animation either. Like, I don't think, I don't think it's bad animation. It's just...
It looks very...
It's just going to annoy me. Like, I mean, not annoy me, but I'm going to be thinking about it. Like, every time I'm watching it, like, it's going to get on my nerves. So
I'm also annoyed that they didn't get Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, or
get
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, like, how you... And now you ain't gonna be able to get Scarlett Johansson no more. Like, so that's done. We're never gonna see that. But it's like, come on, man, get everybody so it can feel like it really feel it, But it is what it is.
And also a public service announcement: the Bad Batch finale is this Friday. I'm gonna be binge watching the last 3 episodes, and I'll have you guys impressions for the finale next week. Troy, you're not gonna. I know your ass is not gonna be watching the Bad Batch.
Nah. I haven't watched episode 5.
I know,
so
right?
I'm way behind.
You're a bitch.
Yeah, I'm way behind. But I will say this: every single episode I enjoyed pretty much.
Same here.
So it ain't like I didn't stop watching it because it was bad or nothing. No.
Yeah, you just fell off.
It just fell off.
That happens, by the way. I'm not blaming you because I fell off of shows too.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and end the show. Actually, let's stop playing that sound effect for the YouTube people because I forget they copyright claim me on that. All right, so we'll go ahead and end the show. It's time to end. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Ready Play Movies. Remember, you can reach the podcast by email at readyplaymovies@gmail.com or simply at readyplaymovies on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Chakalaka88 and Troy.
Bracy Troy 58.
Don't forget to subscribe, give us a review, tell your friends about the show and all that good stuff. See you next time.